Welcome to Back Issues of Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Tiffany.
It's been a while, but we're catching up on the Zdarsky run of Batman, which, as of the taping of this show, is still going. So this is, of course, written by Chip Zdarsky, and it's got art by a slew of people, which primarily includes Mike Hawthorne and Jorge Jimenez.
Did we do one?
Yes. The first arc was Failsafe. Batman has a secret robot.
Okay, yes.
And that robot is mad at Batman for killing the Penguin, who isn't really dead.
Right.
Because the robot is smart enough to defeat the Justice League, but not enough to find out that one of Batman's B or C list villains faked its own death.
Right. Seems implausible,
but
we do need the book to happen, so...
We're willing to give it some leeway.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because the first arc was fun. Batman versus an unstoppable version of Batman. I've never seen that story before.
You know, we always accuse Batman of, like, not caring as much, even though he definitely absolutely does.
Yes.
But it's like, what if he actually was that? That's what he would be. Like, if Batman didn't actually have the, like, you know, like, a love of, like, the people around him, this is what he would be.
Right. He was like a humorless... robot.
Like a Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Because I think he was a dick or something. Yes, I am not throwing shade at Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Well,
but I am a little bit.
It is pretty
The statute of limitations
cheap.
has expired.
Did we make a joke about how writing a story about Batman fighting a robot version of himself is just like him fighting like a Tom King version of himself?
We haven't, so I'm glad that we got a chance to trot on that ground.
I wouldn't know, because I wasn't here for the first volume.
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
But you also read it, so I think we're okay.
I think I did. But if I did, I don't remember.
But this one is the Batman of Gotham. So at the end of the Failsafe arc, which you can check out our full episode about, but moreover, you should read it, Failsafe is defeated by Batman by having a conscience infected into him.
Right.
And then Failsafe shoots Batman with a ray gun that seemingly atomizes him, and then Failsafe just pieces out and flies away, leaving Tim Drake to feel more trauma for having yet another father figure die in front of him. So Tim Drake is like, Batman's not dead because I was Robin during the Omega Sanction issue, and so I know when Batman
I've
is
seen this before.
fired through time or space or whatever, I'll get to the bottom of this. So Robin is a whole separate adventure. It turns out that the gun that Failsafe uses to disintegrate Batman is actually a multiversal ray that shoots Batman to another reality in the multiverse.
Sure.
Now, part of the fun of reading this book was speculating, and I know I certainly speculated to you, that Batman is in a reality where Bruce Wayne died and never became Batman, so it's a Gotham without Batman, and so Failsafe was more or less like giving Batman an eternal reward. I gave you a Gotham without Batman.
This is your Valhalla.
Yeah, like you can cohere.
Even though Valhalla exists.
Batman is in this, like, Batman-less Gotham, so it's like, man, you get to work your way from the ground up and just fix Gotham.
You get to do year one again.
Right, you get to do it all over again.
Except you know what you're doing now.
Yes, and you can leave Gotham to me, the cold, emotionless robot. That's where Batman is, and so he has to like climb his way back to the top, and all throughout that story, I'm like, he didn't go anywhere. He's in like a tube, and he's just experiencing VR. That was my theory about where Batman was. But no, he's actually in the multiverse. Because it's also about multiverses, because I don't know if you know this, but like Marvel is doing this whole multiverse saga in the movies right now. And so we gotta like capitalize on that. Because we're DC, and like we invented the multiverse. So we should be using this thing all the time. Like we should be building up to a massive multiverse crisis over there. And we should be doing like a big multiverse story with Batman for no good reason. Spider-Verse also sold, so let's do Batverse. And by the way, could have been interesting because there's a whole story that Scott Snyder wrote called The Batman Who Laughs, in which the Batman Who Laughs is murdering Bruce Waynes throughout the multiverse and using their bodies to torment Bruce Wayne Prime because the cohesive element between all those Bruce Waynes is that they were happy.
Right.
That's such a great moment, by the way. Like when Batman is analyzing one of the Bruce Wayne corpses, and he's like, he's older, and he has smile lines.
From smiling too much.
Like, he smiles. Oh no.
Like a lot.
Like, yeah, like the way a normal person.
Oh, like the Joker, like Joker-fied him and forced him to smile?
No, more like just someone who wasn't miserable all the time.
What?
So you could say, like, oh, you could bridge it and be like, this is one of those worlds. But no, because
Nah,
it's not. We're not going to do that.
Well, because those were no.
Those were because he could have
they
been
were ones
happy
where
and
he
be
wasn't
Batman. At the same
Yeah.
time.
Is there a Bruce Wayne in this world?
Yes, there is.
Oh, he's just not Batman.
He is dead.
Oh, so they definitely could have done that.
Easily. But he needs to be killed by the antagonist of this story.
He can't have been killed.
He can't have been killed by the Batman Who Laughs. Also, then there's way too many threads. You know, oh man,
We're
I
not
gotta
referencing that in this.
I'm Chip Zdarsky. I don't need to ride Scott Snyder's coattails, least of all attached to the Batman Who Laughs.
No, I mean it's just kind of nice if it like works
If it, like,
together.
links
It
together.
feels like it's part of the same universe as like the books that's
Exactly.
part of the same universe.
Especially because like there was a big story that was all about dead multiversal Bruce Waynes, and you have one. But again, like it really does need to be about the antagonist of this story.
Okay.
And that's all to say that while Bruce is bumbling around in a Batman-less Gotham, Tim Drake is bumbling around in the main Earth Prime universe, yelling at people because he's not sleeping, and trying to get to the bottom of this mystery. Where's Batman? And so eventually Tim hooks up with Mr. Terrific and Superboy because Phil Kennedy Johnson made Superman leave. So he's doing Warworld right now. And so John is aged up and Superman. And so Tim and John team up.
It's like sad.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I can't hang out with you anymore, Damien. I'm too old for you. I'm gonna go hang out with Tim.
It was really sad. That's why Rebirth...
replacement for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's why they...
Damien's like, ooh.
Yeah, no, they don't hang out. Like, Tim and John are not friends.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see that dynamic, but no, John and Damien are still friends. Anybody who has any reference to those characters, make sure to put them together. They should never have aged up Jonathan Kent. And I firmly believe that no one but Bendis wanted to.
Yeah, I believe it.
So
Well, it's
we're
just
just
like,
left
you
with
just-
that, because Bendis don't even work there no more.
You just rushed like years of storytelling, years of money.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, the reality is DC's paying me, Brian Michael Bendis, so much money to write whatever I want, and I want to write about a single Superman with an aged-up John Kent, which is why I invented all these sexy ladies in the beginning of my run for Clark to have sex with. So Tim's trying to figure out where Batman is, and John is like, that gun belongs to the Toyman, so we got to track down the Toyman, except we can't because he's dead, because he was doing this crazy caper where there were toy people, like puppet people running around, and Toyman had turned people into puppet people. Like he shot them with like a ray, and then like a
Puppet Ray?
seemingly, but it wasn't. It was actually just a multiversal ray. And so the
Freaking rays are in the DC
it's the same ray. It's the same ray. It's a multiversal gun. The point
They
is,
switched them out with a puppet version of themselves?
yes,
There's a puppet
What's
planet?
a puppet universe?
puppet universe where people are puppet people. Yeah, that's right.
See, I like Puppet Planet because there's alliteration, people.
Yeah. So
Puppet people.
Well, then how come Batman didn't go to the puppet universe when he shot him with the gun?
because when
Because that'd be creepy
Failsafe-
and horrible, and I don't want to read that.
well, and also that's for the
yeah.
Tim Drake story. Tim needs to go to the puppet planet.
Wait, Tim goes to the Puppet Planet?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, that's not.
So like, there's a whole like standoff where Toyman.
Wait, do they have strings?
No, because it's a
They've
puppet
got no
planet.
strings to hold them down.
That's
What
right.
kind of puppets are they? Are they sock
They're like
puppets?
marionette
are they
puppets.
Muppets?
They're like
if they're
Pinocchio.
marionettes, then they have strings.
No, but they don't because
They're
they're
like Pinocchio
because they're
when
sentient.
he wants to be sentient, but before he becomes a real boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't read the book, I know that.
Y'all acting like this is.
Do they look like they're made of wood?
No, they
Like,
look. Well, yes. They kind of look like
Do they
they're
have
made
like
of
little
wood.
drawn-on faces?
No, they can articulate their
do their
faces.
mouths
Do they
have, like,
believe in the
thing
great-
where they
I wish
just
they
go
were.
straight up
Do
and
they
down?
believe in the great
found a can of
puppeteer
varnish.
in the sky?
Right?
don't
They have
get
a
into
whole
it.
puppet-based
Like
society.
sets of
that's-
religions.
Yeah,
Like
we-
one
yeah.
believes that there's a great puppeteer, one believes there's a great whittler who's
Yeah.
carving them all.
Exactly.
Right. Oh my God.
We don't even.
That's a damn shame.
We didn't even give the universe a numerical designate.
Where
So,
is Grant Morrison? They would have an answer. To
I
this.
have no doubt it's in the multiversal map. But there's a great standoff where Toyman is like ho ho, and then he seemingly like shoots himself with the multiversal.
And he
ray.
goes to the Puppet Planet?
And he goes to the puppet planet because he's always going to the puppet planet because he finds his puppet planet counterpart, and he's like, if you give me puppet people that I can keep, then I'll give you humans that you can keep.
What are you gonna do with those humans?
He's just like playing with them. Like when Tim inevitably because the point is that Tim's like, I need to go into the multiverse to find Batman, but and it goes down the rabbit hole of like, well, it's Toyman's ray, and Toyman was using it to get like puppet people and send his puppet counterpart people, like human fleshy people, in exchange to like help him out. And so Tim has to save these people who were sent to puppet Toyman.
From the like zoo or whatever that they put them in.
No, they're just in his basement.
So Tim Drake gets completely sidetracked. is what
Yes.
you're gotta save.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything
He's
for
like,
Batman.
I gotta save Batman, but
I gotta stop this problem. So he
there's
goes
people to
there.
rescue, damn it.
So he rescues them thanks to Mr. Terrific. And so he goes in there.
is he hanging out with Mr. Terrific? He's like, if I can't find Batman, this could work.
Oh yeah, no, there is a universe where Batman dies and Robin just slips right into Terrific Jr. or Mr. Great or whatever the hell.
Mr. Terrific's like nurturing and kind.
Yeah, and he's like, wow, this is way better. Also, I can fly now. It's a T-spheres. But yeah, so Mr. Terrific helps out Tim and gives him like a special multiversal suit and like multiversal diskettes that you could like throw at each other, and like if you
send people to another universe,
send them back to the home universe.
Oh, okay.
They're more like toys. They're puppets, but like they're toys. So they don't really have strings so much as they're just like posable.
But are there holes in the back for you to shove your hand up
we
into?
don't see. No, they're not like that kind of puppet.
Do they have like hinges and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean like do they have organs?
No, they don't, because Puppet Toy Man is like cutting on a regular person. Like, oh, Robin, help! And he's like, oh man, you made it like meat. Like there's a universe of people made of meat. How weird.
Oh, so they do have meat.
How would he know what meat is?
Right?
I guess the animals aren't puppets.
Maybe.
Only the people are.
I don't know.
I feel
Maybe
like
there's this like bright line distinction in
that's
his
why-
universe between humans and all
animals.
other animals, where they're like, we're not them.
That's why-
we're made
Wait,
of like plastic and stuff.
But what about the apes?
Right. That we
Oh
evolved
yeah, like
from.
we didn't evolve or
Yeah.
something.
No.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there's a cosmic puppeteer, but like
the whole thing kind of falls
yeah,
apart.
that's why it's a backup story. We're not going to
right.
dedicate
You're not
like
supposed to ask this kind
I'm
of
not going to dedicate
questions.
22 pages to the Puppet Planet. So anyway, Tim
Speaking
saves
of
the
backup
people.
stories, Sal's writing a backup in the Terminator
I'm
by
yes.
Declan Shelby.
I'm writing a backup to Terminator. Check it out if you want. It's from Dynamite. It's cool.
And your universe will hold together better than the puppet universe.
I should hope.
Yeah.
Are there puppet people in there?
No.
Okay.
Well, unless you count Terminators.
I don't.
Well, then there you have it.
Then no.
So Tim saves the people, comes back, gets a new suit that is more Robin themed. It's actually a fun idea because like this is just Chip showing how much fun he's having. You know that awesome Tim Drake Robin logo, the R that's like kind of stylized. It takes up like his whole body, but it lights up because it's charging and using the residual whatever. The point is, I wanted to do a suit where Robin has a suit from head to toe and there's a giant R, and that's the whole suit. See, it's just like a big R.
That is
kinda like
nothing
wraps
of what I was
around.
imagining
Okay.
whatsoever.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's like it conforms to
Yeah,
the shape
it
of the
conforms.
body.
Okay.
So Tim gets his Robin suit, his new R suit, and then he's like, I gotta go back into the multiverse and get Batman. Just think about him really hard and it'll bring you to him. But Tim is thinking harder about his mom who died in the 90s, like before he became Robin.
Uh-huh.
And so he is sent to a reality in the multiverse where his mom is still alive. And actually, I think it's more like he goes back in time. Like, he doesn't go back in time to his own original timeline.
Right.
He goes to a universe where,
Where it's like 20 years prior.
earlier. And so
Everything's the same except
he's
20 years ago.
Except he's like 10 years older than he would be in that timeline.
Right.
And so he goes to the desert where his mom is doing archaeology and he bumps into his mom. And Chip's like, well, we don't really get to meet Tim's mom because she dies like before we even do anything with Tim. So let's just say that she like believes in stuff. And so when Tim tells her that he's her son grown up and from the multiverse, she's like, sounds good to me. And so they just reconcile and they hug and he gets closure on his mom and then goes, okay, now I'm gonna go save Batman. Then he just disappears into the multiverse. And you're like, okay. And by the way, it's a very like, it's a very
fine.
sweet sequence.
Yeah.
It's just like, this dude misses his mom is gone. And so he's like, I'm going into the multiverse. It's rare. Look, if you were feeling sad about missing your mom, I'm sure Batman could call Michael and just get you a multiversal suit and you could go. But Batman's probably like, I don't want to foster that kind of behavior because really, then like I could do that. And then I would
Right.
probably stop being Batman. Or one of them would get mad and then become Batman himself and then come here and cause a whole Tom King event. And I don't want to do that either.
I have to agree with Batman
What?
that we should not be playing around with the multiverse. The multiverse should only be gone to in order to save the world.
Right, in order to save the
Yeah.
multiverse.
Because it's such a risk breaking that barrier.
No, the multiverse is actually better than time travel because you get to have your cake.
It's also
and eat
better
it
than
too.
time. You also shouldn't go through time unless it's to save the world.
Yeah, but Barry does that all the time.
I know, and that's a problem.
I agree.
But I mean, you're only saying that multiverse is better than time travel because whatever you mess up over there isn't going to bite you in the
It's
butt.
their problem now.
Right. I know, but
It's still a problem, though.
it's a problem somewhere,
Yeah.
A, and those people's lives matter. because they exist.
Because they exist,
B,
yeah.
Even if they're
we've
public
seen
people.
them come over. Like, if you're going over there,
Yeah.
you're breaking things down,
Oh,
you're
no, it's
weakening
true.
boundaries and walls
yeah,
and
you're gonna
crap.
have
So there's going to be spillover.
You're going to cause a crisis.
Yeah, it's not just, it's a comic book.
yeah.
It's not just going to go well.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it
can't.
did
has
this
to be
one
a story.
time for
Yeah.
him, but like,
Well,
every
yeah.
time you do it, you're playing with fire.
That's very true. You're not wrong. I mean, that's why in Justice League Incarnate, there is like an entire team of characters in the multiverse that only team up from across the multiverse to stop Earth Zero from mucking with the multiverse. So Robin eventually catches up with Batman, and that's the end of the story. So like that's what Tim is up to.
So
Tim-
he
Tim
gets
does
there
his thing.
right as Batman is leaving,
But
right?
where
Or about to.
Batman has solved the story is over, and Batman's like, how am I going to get back? And Tim's like, me, and Batman's like, oh,
okay.
and then
Is
they
So he
leave.
does save Batman.
Is this
Only technically, like
Because it's Batman, and he would, like, once he had time, he would
would
have
figure
figured
it out.
Yeah.
Are there moments in Batman's part of the story where he's like, man, if only someone else was here to help me?
I mean,
like Tim.
No, he makes a Robin immediately.
What?
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah, he's
Sure.
like, oh shit, there's a kid. Guess what?
Right.
But
Put on this domino mask.
Zdarsky is aware of it, and so he like makes fun of it through a funny character that disappears sooner than they should. And also, this is also a little bit of a cautionary tale, metatextually speaking, for creators.
Ah.
Don't try to clean house at the expense of your story. Like Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run is that. Spencer never got to write like a good, coherent story in Spider-Man because he was so focused on cleaning up all the problems he perceived that Spider-Man had. By the way, thank you for sacrificing your entire run on Spider-Man for fixing a few of those egregious problems that I had. And I appreciate that you tried to solve them all.
Wink, wink.
ComicPop acknowledges your sacrifice. That said, Zdarsky is also aware of it and is like, I'll just tell this story about Batman being in this other reality, but also, let's see if we can fix a few things. Like, for example, Alfred is dead in the main universe, and that is a problem because Alfred is fundamentally necessary for the Batman character, and it's horseshit he's not back yet. Also, Jim Gordon isn't commissioner, and that's boring and terrible, and I miss Jim, and he should be here, and it's nonsense he's not. Also, people keep saying, hey, Batman, why are you so bloated and boring? You should get back to like season 1 episodes. Like, why can't you make it more like season 1? And he's like, I don't understand that note. And it's just like, that is what this book is. This book is like, okay, you want classic Batman? Failsafe delivered it. Like, it's almost like Failsafe's like, okay, readers, here's an entire arc of Batman. The way you remember, which is why I think this book is called The Bat-Man of Gotham, because the first Batman story ever is the Bat-Man. Like, it's written the same exact way. But anyway, so Batman arrives in this other reality.
Right.
In Crime Alley, and
Wait, you just told us the end, though. You told us that
he makes it.
that Robin shows up and saves
Batman saves the day at the end. That's every Batman story
okay.
ever.
Ethan, it's about
Except
the
for
journey,
Nightfall.
not the
Destination.
destination. Come on.
him. Okay, all right. So this episode is going to be about
How-
the adventures that
What
he
Batman
gets
does
into.
in this other reality, in this Batmanless Gotham.
Right,
Yeah.
knowing that at the end he's just going to get
Of course he's gonna, yeah, but you won't be able to believe, you will not be able to guess how it ends.
Okay.
Or where
I
it
mean,
goes.
I
Because
was
at
gonna
first
say
you're
we
like,
know how it ends.
well, yeah, but you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't guess where it goes.
Okay.
At all. Especially because of what is set up.
Okay.
And then we just go, oh, we're not gonna, oh. Because, I mean, you know, there's another...
Just tell us the story.
Yeah, all right.
Batman-
Let's just.
What's going on here?
So Batman wakes up in Crime Alley and he's all messed up. He's all messed up.
all messed up.
Because he just fought Failsafe, he hasn't slept in days. You know, he's just all wrecked.
Yeah,
and he
he's
awakens in Crime Alley and a bunch of hoods like steal his utility belt. So now he has no utility belt. It's Batman.
even
And
have
his
utility
costume's all torn
Well,
up.
those guys
and
are
messed up.
dead.
No.
Because I can only imagine what's in that
well,
utility belt.
Right, he opens it up. Kaboom! Oh man, my arm. So Batman wakes up and he's like, okay, I'm in Gotham in Crime Alley, and then a skeletal version of Commissioner Gordon appears before him with a mustache and smoking pipe. It is a creepy, scary version of your favorite character, Jim Gordon, just doing his thing.
It immediately makes you think of Dead Man.
Of course, Dead Man isn't always portrayed as a skeleton,
No.
but.
But just like that makes me think of that.
Well, and he's also like almost fourth wall breaking, and he makes light of serious situations, very much like some versions of Dead Man.
Is he really there, or is Batman?
No, he's a figment of Batman's imagination, but also compounded by a fear toxin that is pumped throughout Gotham by the elite / bad guys that rule this place. Batman goes before Lorraine and she's like, oh, they must have hit your head hard this time.
Right, because that happens. Batman sees things when he gets hit.
Well, any superhero who gets too much of a concussion will always see a character that manifests and leads them to the solution to their problem.
Yeah.
Spider-Man has seen Uncle Ben a number of times, Batman, Gordon, or Alfred.
This one's a little weirder than normal with the skeleton.
Well, and that's why it's explained later that the populace of Gotham is kept on edge and afraid because they're also pumping in Crane's toxin throughout the city. Like a low-grade version of Crane's fear toxin.
You're just low-key scared all the time.
Everyone's anxious and afraid
because they're all just seeing skeletons.
Maybe. Batman sees skeletons,
Right, okay.
They call it something. The effect is called Crane Brain.
Okay.
They're like, oh, you must have Crane Brain. Because he says, like,
because we all do.
Well, because Gordon's, like, making fun of him when he's talking to his new Robin, and she's like, what are you seeing something? And he's like, it'll pass. I think it's, like, residual multiversal energy. And she's like, no, it's Crane Brain. There's a low-grade level of scarecrow toxin that's just pumped throughout the entire city because the wealthy and the elite live in one tower above it all, like in the Jetsons, and or any story involving a dystopia. Yeah, exactly. Right. But even then, that ain't luxury.
I know it is not Peachtree.
So Batman is like, okay, I don't have my utility belt. I'm in an unfamiliar Gotham, and it's a place that has been basically Batman-less for so long.
How does he find all this out?
He just observes.
Oh, okay.
He just does his Batman thing.
Well, he's like, obviously, if Batman was here, they wouldn't be like this.
But he hears a family being accosted by the police, and he's like, okay, my recon mission has to wait. I gotta go spring into action and kick ass. The police are being aided by Harvey Dent, who is also known as the Judge. And that's kind of a throwback homage to that weird Batman the Animated Series episode where Harvey Dent had a third personality called the Judge. But also, never mind the whole thing. It's just kind of a callback. The point is, everyone who is in the employ of Red Mask, and Red Mask kind of like rules all of Gotham, to the point where like the United States like secedes away from Gotham. Like Gotham is its own thing, and they can deal with it. But you're not part of the U.S. anymore.
That seems to be a very common plot in D.C.
Yes. Red Mask is arming the police and key characters who also have names and counterparts in our main universe with venom.
Oh.
So Harvey Dent's like all roided out.
I see. Is he meant to be like a Judge Dredd?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, no. And he makes decisions unilaterally about what he observes, resisting arrest, the penalty's death, that kind of thing.
Right.
And Batman's like, okay. So he just springs in action, attacks this guy, and he's like, I've fought Banes before. Like, I know how to do this. And so he's fighting him, but he's also weak and tired. And, it's different. It's I'm not fighting Bane. I'm fighting Harvey Dent with Venom. It's different, and it's going to be a little more difficult, but I'll still do my thing. And so he kicks ass, and he beats a bunch of cops, and saves the family and this old lady whose apartment they blast through the wall of. And
but it turns out she's the biggest fascist of them all.
Right. She's like, eat lead, coppers.
It's like, okay, maybe I need to learn a little more
about this
universe before.
Eat lead, you socialist bastard! No. So then Firefly appears outside the window, and he's like, I got him! And just starts filling the apartment with fire. And Batman's like, Firefly, an idiot in any universe. So the whole place burns up. He grabs the old lady, saves her, puts her out on this, on the fire escape. He's like, can you get down here? She's like, okay. She's like, thank you. No one has saved me. Hope is gone from the streets of Gotham. I don't know enough to hope.
Right.
And he's
Batman's
like,
okay, cool.
Right.
Got it.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
I could make this work.
My bat sense is tingling.
Right.
This city needs me.
Yeah. If only.
More than ever before.
I kind of love it. I'm like, I appreciate that it's an arc and that's it, but I could have taken a whole year.
He's like, I am. Whew.
The problem is, if he saves Gotham, then he sucks because he never will when he gets back home.
Right. It's like, if he can save this Gotham, why can't he save his Gotham?
Right.
Well, because it's a different Gotham, different
problems.
this
Gotham's easier. He's going to save it, but if he stuck around, it would degenerate back to, like, his Gotham.
It would produce more problems.
Yeah, like, it's not, like, as horrible as this one was when he got there, but it's not going to be perfect either.
No. But at least they'll have a fighting chance, even though there are no more heroes in this world, I guess. So Batman is at the mercy of the Judge. The Judge is, like, choking him out until this girl, the street urchin, throws knives into Dent's face.
I mean, one side of his face is all messed up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
All messed up, like it has a couple slashes
a couple
in
of
it.
holes in it. Batman leaves with the girl. She's like, "Come with me if you want to live," and he's like, "Okay." And so they jump out the window and they escape. And so she brings him to her place. This character is Julia, also known as Jewel. I guess her superhero name, or what people call her.
Right. She's not a superhero because there are no heroes.
Right. But she's trying.
She's some kind of freedom fighter.
She is a freedom fighter. She represents the the proletariat. She's trying to get people rallied and to overthrow the 1%ers that live in the tower above them.
I see.
Got
it.
And we meet up with this version of Selena Kyle. She is a high level underling of Red Mask, but also she fancies herself her own free agent, but obviously she is at the mercy of Red Mask, but she's constantly living in that contradiction. Like, I am an anti-hero, but also I steal, but also sometimes I kill, because sometimes people want me to be a villain and whatever, and I'll just be whatever the writer wants me to be. In this reality, she's the same. So, people are like,
she's a criminal with a heart of gold.
Yes. This one, however, has been darkened because of years without Batman in it.
Right, she's chaotic neutral.
That's right.
There you go.
So she is, taking it out on some underling of hers. They were trying to procure money for her, and then they said that they were like, "We got you $1 million. I know it was $1.5 million or whatever, but $1 million's still pretty good." And she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not mad at you for losing the money. I'm mad at you for boasting to people that you skimmed off the top." And so she slashes them because she's not Catwoman, but she still likes claws for some reason because multiverse.
Like, I don't know. I just
love
like
it.
them.
I just like cats, but I don't have any. I just want to be one.
And I really want to kill that bird over there.
I just want to put him in my mouth like I'm just Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie. Yeah, that's Red Mask. One of the most unimaginative names I've ever heard in my life. And so he exists.
He's like a take a Black Mask.
Red Hood and Black Mask?
It's more Red Hood than Black Mask.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was Red Hood.
Of course.
Is it Joker?
New character with new name. So, Red Mask sends a raven to Selena, which includes a photo of Bruce Wayne during his altercation with the police, and he's like, "This guy's a top priority." And Selena's like, "Bruce Wayne?
What? This is happening fast.
Yeah, we gotta get to
Yeah,
that.
we got it.
Yeah. Good. Batman also, when he first gets here, he observes that it's lower tech here.
So like
people have cell phones, but they're flip phones, and there's an internet, but it's dial up, and
so it's like the animated series.
It's like the time period you remember when you liked Batman. But with conveniences that
Not only for people who are a very specific age.
Right, but with conveniences that modern writers can't help but use because they're short.
But that is like the animated series.
Yeah, where it's
like
they have black
old-timey,
and white
but there's
TVs
also
and Studebakers.
computers
And computers.
and the internet.
Yeah, if the old-timey age it was referring to was the early 2000s.
Yes.
Instead of the 40s or whatever that vehicle aesthetic was.
Right,
for
yeah,
that
no,
show.
I assume the year is like 1999.
Yeah.
But it never stopped.
So he's in the Matrix.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's corded phones.
Corded phones. That's why
awesome.
I sent the Raven. It's faster.
Then a phone? It's not.
Well, but I can't send a picture through a phone.
Oh, so they don't have email?
Even if they do, it's I gotta call. I gotta make
Right.
a thing.
It'll take 5 minutes for it
and
to go
I wouldn't be
through.
able to make a phone call while using the internet.
Okay, so that's late 90s, I guess.
That's what I said, 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, So Jewel takes Bruce to her place and patches him up, and he gets some sleep.
And he's like, maybe when I wake up, I won't be here anymore.
Let's hope.
Right.
But he's like, I'm in the multiverse. Ah, crap. So Bruce does some recon. He kicks the crap out of some other cops who are, just harassing people for no good reason, and realizes that Jewel is. She is part of some underground movement, and they have, a logo of a kind of crown, jewel, crown, blah, blah, blah. And
She's the crown jewel.
That's right.
Oh.
And,
is she in charge?
Yeah, she's more or less their kind of ringleader.
Oh, okay.
So Red Mask goes to meet with Dent and reveals that he can control the venom intake remotely. He can be like, if you ever threaten me or if you fail me in any way, I'll just take it away from you. And he shrivels up and then he puts it back on. And he's like, don't forget you work for me. So get to work. Just bring me Bruce Wayne. And so Bruce makes some food for Julie.
Why would he know how to make food?
Because
Because
Alfred
taught him.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And because
Well,
now
he's-
without Alfred, who's going to make me
Oh,
my
yeah,
breakfast?
he has to make food now.
Yeah.
That's right. And they also took away his money, so he can't even go out to
he
eat.
was living in the brownstone because he was
Yeah.
only making $400,000 a year.
Poor baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, this is kind of what convinces Julie that Bruce Wayne is from the multiverse because she's never tasted food this good because, like, I guess, you know,
They don't have good food.
nobody's making food. Well, maybe she can't afford it or something.
No one knows how to cook.
Nobody knows
Yeah,
how
I
to
mean,
cook in this reality.
he only has ingredients
eggs.
from this reality.
Right,
You know
so
what it is?
anyone could do it.
You know what it is? They're made with love, and there isn't any.
Secret ingredient.
It's the love that Alfred shared with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
can't help but infuse that into his cooking.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like they don't have the time or energy to put effort into food
That's really
because
what
they're
it
just trying to survive.
Yeah, they're all like ready-made
So
meals.
I
Like,
do
who's this
have a
guy who
kitchen.
can
Yeah.
afford to spend any effort on making food?
Yeah, like what are you doing with the eggs? Just crack them into a thing and make
Yeah.
sure that they're firm, and then I'll eat them.
Yeah, we have
Maybe
to.
she's never had scrambled eggs.
Maybe,
You
that's,
scramble them?
Whoa! What are you doing? to
maybe
them?
that's one of the differences in this universe. In this universe, no one ever invented scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Batman died, or Bruce Wayne died.
Yep.
And, oh no, he didn't die. He just
did
didn't
die.
be. Oh, he did.
No,
die.
Bruce Wayne did die.
Bruce Wayne died.
He never became Batman, but also did die.
Okay, so he died, and also there's no scrambled egg.
That's right. So Batman is like, how do I find out more about the rich people in the tower that Julie despises? Well, they're having a gala, so I will pretend to be one, and so she facilitates the procurement of some fake IDs, and he becomes this like industrialist from Metropolis.
Wait, is she gonna do that anyway? Or he showed up and she's
No.
like, that sounds good, I'll just follow your lead.
That, yes.
I guess he's just such a good leader that all he has to do is show up,
And just tell people what's what.
and they're just like, sounds good.
Right. So he goes to the gala at the tower and he starts, mingling because he's like, this is something I know how to do. I can pretend to be
Right.
a billionaire. And while he's there, he bumps into Selena Kyle and he's like, oh no. And his brain is like, that's not your Selena. I know she broke up with you and stuff and left you at the altar and there's a bunch of confusing stuff going on with her, but all that baggage is in your prime reality. This is a different Selena, but also it's making you feel things and it's throwing you off your game, so be careful. And so they talk, and while they're hanging out, she reveals, I know who you are, Bruce Wayne, because I met Bruce Wayne and you're supposed to be dead. So through all the like reconnoitering and information gathering that Batman does, mostly through Jewel, he finds out that like the top guy in charge is Darwin Halliday. And so he's at this fundraiser to meet him in the first place, and so he asks Selena, and Selena's like, look up there. And there's Darwin Halliday, and he's up there, and he looks down at Batman, and Batman's like, that's the Joker.
What?
Oh.
So the Joker's real name is Darwin Halliday?
In this reality.
Okay.
And it's almost like someone at editorial told Zdarsky, like, hey, I need you to take all the Jeff Johns stuff and throw it in the garbage.
Throw it right the fuck away.
Like, we need to get rid, like...
Or just establish that that's just one potential way.
Yeah.
'Cause here's a different
Because
one.
in Flashpoint Beyond, Jeff Johns reveals that Joker's real name is also frontman of the White Stripes, Jack White. So,
Right.
thanks. But also, Jeff Johns also wrote 3 Jokers and set that up in prime continuity. But when we did 3 Jokers, it was a Black Label book, and people didn't like it. So we're going to retcon out that 3 Jokers, but we have to keep the fact that there were 3 Jokers because that book was unequivocally in continuity.
Right.
So we need to establish that this is one Joker and his name is Darwin Halliday. Now, is he one of the 3 Jokers? No. Well, he is one of the 3 Jokers,
Wait.
but in this prime reality, there aren't 3 Jokers. Don't worry about that.
Do they have to keep the 3 Jokers?
Yes, because in no, because
Because the
Darkseid
thing-
War happened during the New 52, and they could say the Rebirth made that go away, but they didn't.
Well, also, maybe I misremembered. I didn't think they actually specifically said there were 3 Jokers there. I thought he whispered something and he didn't know what it was.
No, they do actually say in
okay.
Darkseid War there were 3.
Okay. Well, damn.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, just throw it away.
Just throw it away. Just say that, like,
It changed.
Mix and Spit like made it go away, or the multiversal connections, or dark.
Yeah, they all got
multiverse,
merged into one or whatever.
Death metal.
Yeah.
Batman Who Last killed the other 2. Whatever.
Yeah. Or made it so they never existed, so they always were
They
just
could have
one.
pulled a Spawn. There's a moment in Spawn, where obviously Chapel, member of Youngblood and creation of Rob Liefeld, was revealed to be the murderer of Al Simmons that set Al on the path to becoming Spawn. Well, after Rob Liefeld was ejected from Image, it was kind of inconvenient to have to keep referring to this Rob Liefeld creation. And so they needed to come up with a new character, and Todd would have preferred that the character was invented by him, or at least owned by him, because after the Neil Gaiman business with Cagliostro and Angela. He doesn't need to be sued again. And so he's like, I know, I'll create a new character, and Chapel's the name of the guy who killed Spawn, so I'll make it Priest, and it's a new character, female character. I'm also looking to make more female action figures, so it'll work out great. And so Priest shows up. But we don't see Priest. We have Violator talking to Spawn, and Spawn is like, I am going to end Spawn by like issue 35 by killing everyone who wronged me, including Chapel. And then the clown Violator just goes, oh my God, Chapel? You still don't know who killed you? Ha 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 ha. And you're like, bite me. Just take a big old chunk out of me. And so that's what they could have done here, where they were like, you still think there's 3 Jokers?
Right.
Why couldn't they
Like, that could have been Batman Who Laughs, being like, you think there's 3 Jokers, you dumb asshole? They're referring to me.
I was gonna say, yeah, why wouldn't they just do that? Why wouldn't they just say, like,
It's
there's
Joker, it's Batman Who
because
Laughs, and then another one.
That's what I'm saying.
Secret-
And then, like, you spend, like, a year or two, like,
Building up to it.
to who is this, like,
Third
other
Joker. Who's the third Joker?
Oh.
But this is Darwin Halliday, and Darwin Halliday's in charge, and will eventually, or should have eventually become the Joker. So maybe this is what Joker's real name is.
Is he also Red Mask?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh,
and they
so I was right.
Yeah.
So it is like Red Hood.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, not
it's-
Jason Todd Red
No,
Hood.
that's right. Yeah,
like
see?
the original
Everybody
Red
was
Hood.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, like, they
Yeah,
tried to kind of
everybody's
bury
right.
it. Everybody right. But you're kind of like, wait, but like, I kind of solved that mystery really fast.
Right.
So obviously that's not the mystery.
No, but it is though. That's it. That's all it is. It's just like, oh yeah, I don't know. I'm tired.
It's a unicorn made out of corn. The
Cornicorn. So Bruce is like, oh shit, Joker's involved? I should get out of here because Joker stories are stale and boring. And so he starts to leave the book, but then Selena whips out a whip because Catwoman has a whip. And so she stops
She's
him.
wearing it.
It's her build.
Yeah.
She's like that, but it's also real.
Right, it's like, you look insane.
Yeah, you're clearly wearing a whip.
You're wearing a whip. That doesn't
Why are you
look-
wearing a whip? That's
Yeah,
weird.
You're not hiding it.
No, everyone here knows that I whip people.
Okay, I have a question because I don't go places that are fancy. I just don't, right?
None of us
How?
do.
Right. Well, but like,
So we're not gonna be able to answer
but
it.
like, it's just always like so funny. How often do women wear long gloves, or is it just something that artists think they do?
That's something artists think fancy women wear.
Or they just like seeing it.
Yeah.
And they know that nobody actually does that.
Yeah, it's just cool to draw. It's just
Yes,
fun.
I
It's fun to
guess.
draw.
And it's you sometimes see it in a movie
Yeah.
or TV show when people are being extra theatrical.
It's true.
Sure.
And it looks bad. In the real life, you'd be like, what are you doing?
Whoa.
You look insane.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody can pull it off in real life.
No.
Or very few people.
It's true.
I've never had a real occasion to wear opera gloves like that.
No.
Yeah.
I've never seen them in real life.
No, I
Like
haven't.
available for purchase.
Yeah, you can buy them.
But I should point out also that Selena has like a scar, like a suspicious scar on her cheek that she didn't have when we first saw her,
Oh.
nor is there a sequence where she gets it. And so thanks. So anyway, she whips Batman and then Punchline shows up and she's all venomed out too. And she's like, "Rah!" And he's like, oh no, it's Punchline.
Remember Punchline?
But she has a different name because there is no Joker, so there's no Punchline.
Right.
She's Crimson because red mask, you see, red. Derivation.
What about Scarlet?
Yeah.
Ruby?
That.
In any case, it's Crimson. I don't care one way or the other. I'm not like, oh no, they really ruined this opportunity for
don't
Punchline. So anyway, she attacks and he's like, and so he fights her, but also has to fight Selena. So, it's a two-way fight.
Right.
And then Killer Croc shows up because Killer Croc is a bouncer for these people.
And I'm sorry, we didn't notice him when he walked
Yeah.
in.
Now, he just kind of wanders in. Well, you could see how his dress might have just blended right in with the, with
Yeah,
the
he's
rest of them.
incognitus.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see you there, Killer Croc. You just blended right in.
Maybe
Yeah.
he came in a different door.
A bigger door.
Yeah, because Batman would have just been like, nope, Killer Croc's here. I
Yep.
don't have any gadgets or anything. I have to leave.
No, he has he has limited weapons. Jewel gives him like what she has, but like no one has any metal. He has like a plastic knife which he uses to cut Crimson's deltoid or something. Like he cuts off supply to, or I'm hitting pressure points and
A
stuff.
plastic knife?
Yeah, they don't have like general weapons in this world, or they're not available. Anyway, he douses Croc with some gasoline and sets him on fire.
Where does he get gasoline from?
That's something that they have that's cheap. And
Yeah, I mean, it's some kind of like
it's a
grenade.
flammable liquid.
Oh, like maybe it's a sterno.
right?
I mean, it's very unclear because
he says, I have limited weapons, and then he douses Croc and something. Maybe his urine is flammable. He whips it out and just pees all over the Croc.
Yeah,
and
you
sets it
see
on
a
fire.
stream of fluid.
Of seemingly, flammable liquid.
But then he goes flying out the window, and I'm like, well, how did you...
Denethor.
He set him on fire, and then he kicked him out the window.
Oh, he kicked him. We just cut out the scene where he kicked him.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, I'm telling
because
you, Croc's Denethor on out.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm on fire!
I mean, that would make more sense because can you imagine this man kicking this man out a window? Like, he'd kick him and nothing would happen
because
he outweighs him by like 2,000 pounds.
Batman has kicked the Incredible Hulk in the stomach hard enough for him to lose his breath.
How?
He knows where to kick.
Yeah, okay. It's so secret ninja
It's
powers.
a secret ninja move.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I mean, he literally flies out the window farther than any human ever
would be able to,
and he weighs much more than a human.
Yeah. Physically, it's impossible.
But Batman's not.
But so is Batman. Batman knows no limits.
Yeah.
So while Batman is getting his bearings, he also notices that Alfred is at this party. And he's like, oh no, it's Alfred!
Oh boy.
But he's also like, no, it's not my Alfred.
Right.
Well, I don't care. Grab.
Right. You come with me!
Oh boy.
I'll save you this time.
Yeah, come with me to my new reality.
Yeah, why not?
Oh yeah, no, there's a good question for that.
Oh.
Batman asked that question at the end of the story. He's like, wait, I'm missing an Alfred, you're missing a Bruce. Let's make this work.
Let me just steal you from my reality.
Yeah. And Zdarsky's clearly like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why he's in the book. And then Editorial was like, no! Now, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that's how it feels like it happened.
I see.
Okay.
I mean,
Seems like that it's pretty convenient.
well, maybe it's just, no, we want to give you like a taste of Alfred.
And Alfred also has a really
This is a
shitty
little
excuse for why he
taste.
doesn't go to the other reality. But anyway, moving on.
well, I'm needed in this world.
Yeah.
There's a lot to
especially
clean
now
up.
that there's no Batman here. Like,
Plus
we're
all my
gonna go-
stuff's here.
And he's married to Leslie Tompkins.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, that's a good reason.
Yeah, that's a good reason. But also,
Yeah.
you could be Alfred. Come on.
Well, bring her with you.
Yeah, bring her.
But they already
bring her
have a
along.
Leslie Tompkins.
This concerns her too.
I don't know, Alfred, maybe we could just bring her with us.
That's like the only smart idea that Marty has, and Doc dismisses it out of hand. So Batman's fighting, Crimson and Selina, and he's like, "All right, this is getting
Which is
out of hand."
extra confusing because Selina is wearing red.
I know, and Crimson isn't,
Yeah. And Crimson's wearing black.
which is what a Catwoman would wear. So anyway, he's just like, "Oh, screw this!" So he just jumps out the window.
And he also gets shot.
He Killer Crocs himself.
Yeah, that's right. He immolates himself and then jumps out the window. No, he gets shot in the shoulder and then jumps out the window.
Ah.
Yeah. And he ties off a line before he falls.
Yeah, and as he's falling, I remember he's just like, "I'll survive. I can survive this. I jumped off the moon in the Zdarsky run.
Yeah, you did.
I jumped off the moon. I can survive jumping from a building." And he does, but
Yeah, but
it takes a lot of licks for it.
but only because like Selina doesn't like cut the rope that she clearly sees you tying right under her.
Yeah, that's right.
If she wanted to, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Well,
and
they
that's-
want him
there's
dead.
then there's like this weird undercurrent where he's like, she's not my Selina, but also I'm going to give her all the leeway and all of the allowances and all the belief that I put into my Selina, into the Selina, even though I keep telling myself that it's not my same Selina.
Well, he does say, but she's a Selina.
Right. That's
What
why
the
she didn't
fuck
kill me.
does that
That
mean?
means that like even on any Earth, there's still some good in her. Sometimes
How
she
do you
might-
know that?
Because
Maybe this is the
she didn't
universe
kill
where
me.
there's no good in her.
Yeah, because she didn't
Right?
kill me. That's why.
Well, yeah, I guess that's why.
But yeah, all right. So anyway, he falls through a glass ceiling and then eventually just like, rises to his feet. He's like, don't fall unconscious. These people will take you. And then he ends up like in an alley and like skeletal Jim Gordon's like, all right, buddy, come on, let's go. And I know we glossed over, but throughout the book, he's like, all right, classic Batman. Batman and Jim, you're all by yourself, no Robins. Gotham needs you. Crime Alley, we're doing
We're
this.
getting back to basics.
We're getting back to basics.
And I'm a skeleton.
And I'm a skeleton. But you know what?
skeleton.
That's cool and edgy. Maybe it's a Black Label book. You don't know.
And it's totally fine. I can smoke all I want.
Yeah.
I'm already a skeleton.
But Batman's like, you're not even real. You're a scarecrow hallucination. He's like, yeah, that's fair. And so Batman's like, oh man, I'm not. And that's the thing is that like I was impersonating an industrialist, and like no one was afraid of me. I need to become Batman. And so as he's passing out in the middle of this alley, he sees a bat upside down. He's like, yes, Gotham, I shall become a bat. Like I'm gonna do
As
the
you
whole.
commanded,
Yes.
so shall I.
So then he makes a Batman costume out of garbage that he finds.
Oh, this is the garbage Batman suit.
But not Zur-Anar. Zur-Anar is Grant Morrison's version of Batman tweaking out on drugs, making a suit out of garbage that's purple and fuchsia and red, and it looks insane.
Right.
This looks insanely stupid because he is wearing garbage. No shade to Mike Hawthorne necessarily. It's not my cup of tea. I apologize, but
He doesn't seem to be wearing garbage.
No, because because the details get lost. But he's wearing like a bike helmet with like spikes that make a bat.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah, I see. There's like air holes
at
in the top of the helmet.
You know,
Why wouldn't he just cover those in with like clay or putty?
He hastily made it together out of garbage.
But it hastily made it together. It fits perfectly. He's got those like sharp arm things.
Yeah, he has those. No, definitely.
He's got a perfectly tailored suit. He has a utility belt, a huge cape. Like work went into this.
Oh,
he should have a fanny pack.
Yeah, he should be made like 6 fanny packs.
Yeah, and it should like not quite fit.
Yes.
Like then I would believe he didn't have time to fill in the air holes.
No, but like we need to know it's made from
This took
trash.
hours.
This took days.
Days, absolutely.
The
days.
cape alone.
Yeah.
How do you find a cape?
And he's got it like weighted down, like with like.
Yeah, it does it creates the silhouette.
Interesting.
Anyway, so Enigma's roided out. He's the Riddler because he's not creative, and he's wearing red because he works for Red Mask. And of course, I assume Red Mask maybe like names everybody. He does, but Batman like calls him by his name. He's like, "Who? How do you know my name? Like, no one ever knows my name." And he's like, "Oh, that's because I'm vengeance." Rah. Like, you know, Batman. All right, classic Batman stories. Riddler shows up. He's messing with some kids. So then Batman shows up and he beats the living shit out of him. Oh yeah, that's what you want, right?
Yeah, classic Riddler just holding a machine gun to a kid's head.
Yeah,
like,
and he also asks a riddle.
Oh, he does? Oh.
Yeah, well, the thing is that he is like, okay, so there's no like police force. They work for Arkham.
Right.
And what they do is if they deem you insane, and so you get sent to Arkham instead of the prison. And so Riddler is shaking down people, asking them riddles, and if they fail the riddle, that means they're insane, and either he gives them up to Red Mask for experiments. Oh wait, I just revealed that he's doing experiments in Arkham Asylum, but whatever, so moving on. And also, he murders them because he's like a crazy person. And so he also has kids that he's doing this to, and that's like against the rules according to Selina, because Selina's like, whoa, kids, no. I don't mind if you like take tyrannical rule over the city and like section it off from the United States and like have thousands of people die from like exposure or, you know, malnourishment or a lack of nutrition or access to, you know, basic needs. But if you start shaking down children with riddles, then I draw the line, and now I'm Catwoman
I
again.
mean, shouldn't you be more upset about people who are deciding to continue having children in Gotham?
Oh yeah, no, she should like want to tear the whole thing down, and maybe she does because she's secretly an anarchist, but like she doesn't. So anyway, this is the leverage that Bruce needs to give to Selina so she'll team up with him sometimes.
So she'll become Catwoman.
Well, she doesn't become Catwoman. She never actually does become Catwoman. But she does bring this problem to Red Mask, and she's like, "There's a Batman running around, you know, wrecking our empire."
A Bat-man.
Yeah. Well, no, it's funny because sometimes they say Bat-man, but most of the time they just say Batman. It'd be interesting if Batman said Batman, but they say Bat-man, but they don't. It's not consistent. Anyway.
A Batman?
A Batman. So Selina brings this information to Red Mask, and also is like, "Hey, you weren't supposed to bring kids in. Like you said."
Right.
Like,
I said no kids.
My
and you were
involvement
like, okay.
in this is contingent on the rules that I set forth. And Red Mask is like, "You are a delusional asshole if you think that you can tell me what to do or establish baseline rules. Like, I rule this place, you work for me, or I kill you, end of story." And I'm like, that is exactly the relationship between Joker and Catwoman. I love how, you know, you occasionally see Catwoman being like, "Joker, oh no you don't." And it's like, he's killed graveyards full of people. You don't get to like wag your finger at him.
Right.
And tell him like, no, you broke one of my rules. Like, he's the Joker. There's nothing you can do.
It looks like he has flash powers?
He has seemingly flash powers. Yeah, no, he like punches her. Like, he surprises her by being able to seemingly go really fast and then like sucker punch her in the face a couple times. It turns out he is using multiversal energy so that he can like be faster. Now, you could argue, oh, that makes sense, right? Like, the Flash uses his Speed Force energy to affect the multiverse and access, you know, time and the multiverse.
Right, so it's all connected.
So it's all connected. No, Red Mask is using multiversal energy to seemingly not go fast, but rather be in different places throughout the multiverse. You see, like there's a multiverse where this is the exact same thing happens, but I'm over there, so I'm accessing that area, and then I go over there. It's more complicated than it needs to be, and also less contingent to anything else that's part of the mythology. So it's confusing and weird.
What? So it is the Rick and Morty. There's an infinite number of universes. I mean, everything that has happened or that could happen has happened, and you can go there
theoretically. But also, it's more like he uses multiversal energy to be over there because maybe there is a reality where he's over there. They don't really get into it too deeply to say. There are as many universes as there are possibilities that I could do literally anything at any time, and so I access those moments. They don't really say that explicitly, but that there's no other way you could interpret it, and so that's where we're going with it.
Okay. I don't like
I could access every version of me that's from here to here, but I just jump from here to here instead of just being like me. Like, why don't you just walk over there?
Yeah, if you were going to do that.
If you're going to do that, why don't you just take a step?
It basically lets him teleport.
Yes. But only to a probable location that he might be in that instance. To fuck.
That's weird.
So anyway, Batman's like, I need to get to the bottom of this Bruce Wayne thing. So he goes to the Wayne estate.
Oh, no.
And he digs up his own grave.
Of course he does.
Sets off a alarm, which accesses Alfred, who brings a gun. And he's like, what are you doing?
His elephant gun?
It's a shotgun.
It's just a gun.
Oh.
And so he's like, what are you doing here? This is my son, blah, 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 blah. And so Batman takes off his mask and reveals that he's Bruce Wayne, and he's from the multiverse, and my Alfred's dead. And Alfred pieces it together. He's like, oh, your Alfred's dead. Like, because of the pain you carry. And you're like, okay. And so, you see these two sad men who both need each other, but also don't have therapy, so they can't access that emotional intelligence to say that to each other. So then, instead, Bruce carries his own corpse away and leaves. Also, his corpse is like really well maintained for it being a corpse that has been in the ground for, at least a year. And it's wearing a suit that's pristine because, I drew a suit. Well, I don't know how to draw a suit.
Another thing about this universe is that bodies decay slower.
Infinitely slower.
Well, point of order.
And the suits don't get dirty.
Point of order. Most cemeteries require you to have a cement cube thing that you're interred into.
Oh.
True. Yeah.
So people can't easily dig them up?
Yeah. No. It actually has to do with the EPA.
Yeah. To prevent stuff from getting there?
Yeah. Religiously speaking, you can sidestep that if you prefer.
Interesting.
But 9 times out of 10, that has to be there.
Yep.
But I don't see that removed from there. But that's how you could, because it does actually slow down the decay.
Yeah.
Right, because nothing can get in.
Thing.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Well,
no,
maybe it's just a really
it's
expensive coffin that's really well sealed.
Yeah.
Hermetically sealed.
It's more dramatic if he
Antibacterial.
digs up a coffin and then just opens it up and there's a guy in
And
there.
there's a guy inside, so it's just bone.
And his eyes are missing. So Jewel takes Batman to a hospital to use a MRI machine, and he puts the Bruce in there and then checks it out. And
why would putting his own doppelganger's body in an MRI machine help him?
well, he says that he's discovered that his lungs, and I'm like, no,
Why is he so interested with how he died or why he died?
because he needs to know who killed him, so he knows who stood to gain. It's it's Red Mask, man. It's all Red Mask. He took over everything.
Well, also, why do you care about that murder? There
Right.
must be thousands of murders you could
interesting murders
investigate.
that could also have
Why are
something to
you
do with
so
the story.
focused on... Yeah, but if I died, something's up.
Yeah, well, who
Well-
killed me? Who knew they need to remove me in order to
Yeah,
gain
who knew
control?
I was going to become this?
Yes. Who knew that I was the linchpin for Gotham?
Maybe this Batman wasn't going to be... Or this
Right.
Bruce wasn't going to become
Well,
Batman.
because this Bruce also relinquished his money and became a social worker and put all this money into social programs and stuff.
Oh, it's just why would someone bother to kill him?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe instead of hiring Selena Kyle as a mercenary, you should have hired Selena Kyle to just be a wife and marry him, and then you wouldn't have to kill him. You just
Right.
take him off the table
Yeah.
because, as we know, a Batman who's happy or a Bruce that's happy.
Which he
doesn't
does say in
become
this
Batman.
book. Yeah, he says that. He reinforces it from the Tom
Yeah.
King run. But there's also a moment in here where Jules so since you're Bruce Wayne and this Bruce Wayne gave away all his money and became a social worker, is that something you would do? And he's like, I can do both. Because I remember Chip Zdarsky actually responded to a lot of people who were like, hey, Batman's kind of a problematic character because he's a billionaire, but he doesn't give his money away to charities and all this stuff. Why doesn't, if Batman were real, then he should actually be more mature and understand that Batman is a stupid infantile fantasy and he should just give his money away. And Chip's counterpoint, that's fucking boring.
Well, then he wouldn't exist, and there wouldn't be a book for us to talk
Additionally,
about.
Yes.
counterpoint. I get where you're coming from for our reality. For
Yeah.
our reality.
Right.
Yeah.
A
But we don't
reality
have
in
the
which
Joker.
Joker doesn't
Lex
exist.
Luthor.
Supervillains don't exist.
The dark multiverse doesn't exist.
Yeah, there isn't, in our reality, there is no dark side.
Who is secretly influencing people to be more evil than they should be. Yeah, no, it's true.
There's
no anti-life equation to worry
it's just,
about.
I get where you're coming from, and it's a funny thing to point out, but if you start thinking that that's like the actual issue with this book. That it's like, no.
Right.
Like, that's not the actual problem with Batman. That's a funny thing to mention.
Yeah, that's a funny joke that was made 30 years before
that's
you were
like
born.
if Batman lived here.
Right.
Like, if
which he
Batman were
definitely
here,
doesn't.
then we'd have a lot bigger conversations.
They do. There are people who are as rich as Batman should be who never choose to be Batman.
Right.
Right.
This world does not manifest a Batman.
Yeah. Well, you can't because you'd be dead.
Right.
Like in our world, Batman would have died 100 times.
Exactly. He was poisoned.
He was poisoned.
And also he has traces of multiversal energy on him. So someone who can access the multiverse, namely Red Mask, because we saw him do it, killed him. And so, oh no. And so, okay. So then he leaves and he bumps into Dent again, and Dent roids out. And, I'm gonna get you. And they have a big fight, and it's awesome. You know, cool. Okay, we've seen Batman fight Bane 1,000 times. It's in the rain.
It's in the rain.
You know, Dent's using cars and stuff. It's a fun, cool knockdown, drag out
hard
fight.
rain.
And it's also fun to watch Batman be Batman in a city that has no Superman or
while
Robins,
wearing garbage.
but wearing a garbage Batman suit that's silly looking. So anyway, he defeats Dent only to be met by Selina. She doesn't reveal that
Selina
he's
Kyle. Can we trust her?
She doesn't reveal that Halliday is Red Mask. He actually point blank asks her who Red Mask is, and she says, "I don't care, and I don't know." And you're like, "Okay, but you do, and you do." But all right.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, the two of them team up and they swing across the city, and he's like, "This feels right. All right, this feels nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're going great.
Now we're jumping ahead.
Now it's becoming my world.
Yeah. Now you're my world now, bitch." And so the two of them swing across the city, and they have a nice time. Oh, and he's like, "Okay, so we need to go to Arkham." And she's like, "Oh, you have been out of the game a while. Arkham doesn't exist, and Halliday's, or rather Red Mask's lair isn't Arkham. It's the Arkham caves. It's the caverns beneath Arkham." And they treat that like it should be a last page reveal, which of course it doesn't feel that exciting, but whatever. And so we go to the caves where Halliday accesses, his experiments and conducts his evil schemes. Because Arkham Asylum is like one small building, whereas I can have tons of people under here. I can have a whole prison of people that I keep underfoot here. I can conduct all kinds of experiments. So while Batman's walking around the catacombs, clearly Chip Zdarsky read Batman Holy Terror, which features a Batman who goes into an underground secret cavern run by people who run the world, and they have underglass superheroes who are twisted multiversal versions of themselves, and so that happens in this as well. And so Batman bumps into Barry Allen, who also is in Batman Holy Terror and is a twisted version of himself. And he's like, "Oh, Barry Allen, I can't let him out because he's insane and he's dangerous." Because he's like, maybe he did get struck by lightning. Clearly he's like, "Rah!" And he's like, if I let him out in the state he's in, he could kill everyone on the planet.
Oh?
Because he's so fast. And he's unstoppable.
Right, because he's the Flash. You can't stop the Flash.
Yeah, exactly. Batman pulls a thread that you should never pull on the Flash, which is if he can measure time in attoseconds, he is the most infinitely powerful person in the multiverse.
He could kill everyone on Earth before they even knew that he was attacking them.
Yeah, before a minute passed. Red Mask is like, "I'm Darwin yeah, stop it right there. We all knew." And he's like, "Yep." And he takes off his red mask to reveal, "Yep, I'm Darwin Halliday, and you're Bruce Wayne Batman, and I know that you are actually from another reality, and I know that I'm supposed to be the Joker. Because..."
You're supposed to be. So you're acknowledging that my reality is real and yours is wrong.
That was never in question. I think we can all tell this feels more like a B reality, right?
Can you imagine discovering that you're in
Earth
the
10.
B universe? Earth 10?
Earth 10?
That's why everything sucks. We're in Earth 351.
Exactly. Yeah, this is where it's some things happen. Abraham Lincoln existed, but also TikTok. Anyway, so Halliday reveals, "I'm a brilliant chemist," which Joker would have to have been, "and I worked for this company that, took over the,
You know what, Joker? I don't
This
give a
is
crap.
this is lore I really don't need. If anything, I am never going to remember this reality again. I'm not even going to catalog it.
Yeah, nah.
Can you imagine? He gets back, he runs into Justice League Incarnate, and they're like, "Oh, we can measure the traces of multiverse." Oh my God, you were at Earth 497. And that place is...
That backwater?
That place ain't even worth writing down. We just have the numerical designation that says no Batman. That's the only thing we have written down. So, anyway, it's funny because Halliday seemingly has a same origin as the Flash. He was conducting some experiments, and he got some chemicals on him, and then suddenly, bah! And he was able to access the multiverse and like look through like a multiversal window and see his reflection on the other side as the Joker, and also like feel him, and was like, oh my God, that guy is untethered by sanity. And
I want that.
He's freer than anything I could ever be. So I want that. I want to get back to that. And it's like, dude, just jump into the fucking chemicals. But he never jumps to that. He's like, no, multiverse, baby. Multiverse.
No, I don't want to die.
Well, it's like, no, you won't die. Didn't you get that?
Well, I don't know. It's not the same, though. Maybe the chemicals in my universe,
are
in
different.
the equivalent vat, would just kill me.
Okay. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, if
you're
want
living in
You're
reality.
the most free.
Yeah. So, anyway.
What? Is there anything about him that suggests that he's the kind of person who, when he looks into the mirror and sees the Joker, says like that?
Yeah.
I want that.
I mean,
because like,
because
nobody would.
No, but because he is the Joker, he's like, I always
Yeah, but
felt,
maybe he should want to be you because you're like not white.
No, because this Joker. No,
because like you aren't broken.
No, because I also like I felt what it was like to be him, and I knew he was not jealous of me. He was just like, oh, you poor thing. You're not as free and open and awesome as me. Like, I realized my potential. I have taken my identity to its maximum potential.
Wouldn't it have been more interesting if he had been like, screw that, and then the Joker was like,
Ho-ho!
I have to find this guy, because screw him, because he's acting like he's better than me. And ain't no one better than me.
Yeah, let's not even... I think it'd be cool if there wasn't a Joker in the story.
Well, yeah, I mean,
cool.
like, here's the thing. I feel like we haven't had a, like, long run without him.
Nope.
There has never been a
kind of
writer
exhausting.
on Batman, with one exception, and it's Joshua Williamson, who hasn't done an arc about the Joker. And it's because everyone who writes for Batman knows it's a finite run.
Right.
And they're like, but I might never get my shot.
Right.
And so I'm going
only
to do
have
my
one.
definitive Joker story. Or in Scott Snyder's case, 3 or 4.
Right.
So anyway,
So is this
this is Chip's.
This is Chip's
Well,
definitive
Chip-
Joker story?
No, because Chip does another Joker.
because the Joker's not even in this.
No. This is like teeing up. Because Chip is like, hey, I think that they're tapping me to retcon Jeff Johns' 3 Jokers. So I'll handle that.
Yeah. Okay.
So he does have a Joker story coming up in this
Coming up.
run. So anyway, he's like, I'm going to be Joker, but I need like more, I need multiversal energy in order to become that Joker because, again, I don't have convenient acid and a Batman to push me into it.
Yeah, but in
It
my
would have been, like,
universe,
more messed up for him to be like,
Push me! Look at that vat of acid!
that's very complicated.
He's
You got to
been-
do something with the
it's-
multiverse
yeah.
energy to
He's been
become the
kidnapping
Joker who
people and
wasn't
experimenting
created
on
from
them and
that.
finding people who might be tapping into the multiverse, which like Barry Allen's here, and he's like, so I've been able to grab because I know that
isn't
people,
Barry Allen all you need?
yeah, seemingly, but he's also like too unstable, like he's all over the place.
He's freaking out.
Yeah,
You
so-
can't really talk to him. He just screams.
Right, so he's been like, I need to access it, and then it's great because it's like I'm accessing this energy and I can like harness it and turn it into like a gaseous form, and then I grab it and I huff it, like not like a drug, more like a drug. So.
So Batman just, as he's explaining, just punches him in the
He
face.
should just punch him in the throat and be like, so wait, you're not as intelligent, as chaotic, or as wiry as the Joker's right now? Throw punch.
But he has that multiverse energy, so he would just shift to a universe where
Where he
wasn't
was
punched.
behind
Where he
Batman.
was over there when Batman punched. Yeah.
Batman's like, but I knew that was coming.
He should phase to a reality where you didn't punch me. So he's just like, ha!
Right.
Like, just wham.
Yep. Now we're in a different universe.
Well, I went to
Or
a different
I went to a
universe
different
where I
universe,
wasn't
and that's
punched,
where
now I'm back.
And now I came back, I guess.
He
Yeah.
just kicks him in the nards.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's like, I gotta go. So then he leaves, and then Batman is set through a gauntlet of characters, which includes Ghostmaker. And Ghostmaker, of course, was a character invented by James Tynion IV to be an action figure, and so he's here. And Ghostmaker is like basically anti-Batman. Like he went on the same journey of training as Bruce Wayne did. And that's all we need to know about
I
him.
hate his name.
It's his horrible name.
horrible
It's a
name.
stupid design. It's terrible. I hate Ghostmaker.
No, but I make ghosts because I kill you.
Right, I
see.
guess. So like, but by the way, this is great because he's all roided out from Venom, so he has a different name.
Oh.
It's Ghostbreaker.
But that doesn't. Ghostmaker is threatening because
It means I'm gonna kill you and
because
make you
of-
into a ghost.
What is a ghost breaker? What
I am
what
a
does that
ghost,
mean
and
to-
I break people.
You're a ghost?
Well, I look like one because I'm wearing white and stuff. Like a ghost. It's
But that's not a thing.
It sounds like you're like an off-branded Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but I don't like bust ghosts. I bust people and make them into ghosts.
Well, what do you
you-
do with ghosts at all?
Shouldn't you be a people
Well, no,
breaker?
I'm the ghost, maybe. We don't really get into it because, again, I'm in like a B reality.
Right.
So Ghost Breaker is like, I'm the most like well-trained person on the planet, and then
Yeah.
Batman fights him and he's like, ah! You're like, oh my god, there's somebody who's almost as talented as me! So then he starts like opening up cells and releasing characters that would completely derail the book but don't, like Superman.
What?
What?
Like a bunch of characters who have all been like mind controlled because also Red Mask is using multiversal energy to like for mind control and stuff. And I'm like, why don't you just give him the anti-life equation or something? Like, just come on. Like,
No, everything's got to be about the
Multiverse,
multiverse.
though,
It's all
multiverse.
This is the multiverse verse.
Multiverse
This is the
story.
universe where everything depends on multiversal energy.
Yeah, that's why we called the story the Batman of Gotham, because it's all about the multiverse. So all these characters are like mind controlled by Ghostmaker seemingly, including like what would have become Superman, and he's just Superman, but he's in like a hospital gown and he's mind controlled. And so Batman's like, this is a Superman who was never Superman, who's never met Batman, and so you got to do the thing. Just roll your eyes into the back of your head and do a scary voice and say, I walk as a man, but I am your nightmare! And instead of laughing himself to death, Superman runs away. He's so scared he just flies away.
What?
Like Batman does a scary voice and rolls his eyes into the back of his head. And then he's never in the book again.
What? Okay.
And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Why would
This was it was a big swing. Anyway, Red Mask's plan is he's going to pump multiversal gas or something into all of the city and get.
Why would he waste the gas? Doesn't
No,
he need the gas?
This is gonna.
This is his big plan.
This is
it.
No, it's gonna pull all the energy in from them. It's gonna harness all the energy from them into himself. He's gonna pull it from there.
So each person has the potential to be like a multiversal conduit.
Yes.
That he can then if he just triggers it with the gas and then
Harness it.
Then he
That's
can
right.
somehow
It would make
yank it out
more
of them.
sense, and maybe this is what it is that larger characters like Superman and Flash and all
Green
that,
Lantern.
and Green Lantern have they're such fundamental pillars of so many multiverses that they have a stronger tether and it's easier to get energy from them.
Sure. They don't say that, but that's fine with me.
But you know what I mean? And that's why it's like, yeah, sure, everyone else has that too, but literally not everyone.
Right, they're not
is
like
in
totems.
all. Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, Bob Johnson on 21 Jackson Street is not going to give me as much energy as if I stole a Flash.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he did steal them, but he still needs the energy from all these people.
Oh, yes.
His
And we
big
let
plan is
let
to-
Superman go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's not in the book anymore, so don't worry about that. So, meanwhile, there's also a subplot with Alfred where he's afraid. He's afraid to step up and be strong. And Leslie isn't, and she's a woman of the people, and she lives on the streets. Even though she lives in her lofty tower with her husband Alfred, she also goes down into the streets and helps people with her practice. And so
Oh, they live in the tower?
They live in the tower, yeah. No, because when
people
Bruce
of the
died, he
tower.
inherited all his money and he moved into the tower.
Okay.
So
They're
Alfred,
1%ers.
Yeah, but she's also so always ragging on Alfred for not standing tall.
Then why was Alfred? Oh, because it set off an alarm.
it set off
Okay.
the alarm? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's
that's
the
happening.
cave. Wait, there's no cave. Right?
There's no cave, no, because there was never a Batman. There is a cave, but there's no computer.
There's nothing
Man, it would
in
have been
It's
kind of
just
fun
cave.
for him to go into Wayne Manor and
Yes.
arm himself
Yes.
with old timey weapons that his father clearly would have had.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been cool.
That'd be cool, but there's no time for that. We have to have Joker destroy the city again.
We need Ghostbreaker in here.
And also
we need Crimson.
Ghostbreaker.
We need
Yeah.
Killer Croc looking like a newsie in here.
Yeah.
He does. So then Crimson releases the Leatherwings because Jewel is part of the underground resistance led, Batman gives her some ideas and helps. Because the idea is if Red Mask releases the gas throughout Gotham, yeah?
You said leather wings, we knew what that was.
They're just man bats.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
just revealed. It's just the leather wings, and there's just a picture of it. There's no explanation.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, okay.
Because,
but
the leather-
Sal said it to you and
Because of course he
I.
releases the leather wings.
So of course, I was going to get to it, but I need his backstory.
But then you're like, oh wait, I skipped something.
Yeah.
They went
Well, the
back.
point is,
Don't worry about the leather wings.
Batman Animated Series first episode is called On Leather Wings,
Yes.
and it's the introduction of Man-Bat, and arguably it's the one thing that made anyone know who Man-Bat was because it was such a niche character in the first place. But So we're homaging that, but also bats do have leather wings, so, it makes sense. But also, here we go. Anyway, there's an army of leather wings / man bats that they use. They call them leather wings. Jewel is going to lead the people to the tower, which is above, the gas line. So the people are going to take back the city by going into the tower. Meanwhile, the tower is going to defend itself against the proles. And so, that's what's happening. Like, the idea is, like, while Batman is wresting control from Red Mask and fighting his greatest rogues like Punchline and Ghostmaker, not Robin can lead the people of Gotham to this lofty ivory tower where they will be protected from the gas and, the evil police state.
Okay.
And Alfred's got to step
Like
up.
all the people? Because I don't think all the people
It's
are
a
going to
really
fit.
big tower.
So I can't.
All the people who they can lead.
I see.
Can't.
We're going to lose a
50.
few.
I can't tell if
It's hundreds.
it's good or bad.
Right.
That-
You got to read it. But
That when Batman gets here and he's doing all his reconnoitering and he's figuring out everything, he does not look up Jason Todd,
No.
Dick Grayson,
No.
Tim Drake.
we got to get back to basics. I don't know any Robins.
Right, but he doesn't even look up to see what happened. Like,
Nah.
I don't care. It's a
like
fake
Bruce
thrill.
Wayne not being there for
Any
Dick
of these-
Grayson.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to Dick Grayson?
That would be interesting to find out.
Like,
I don't,
even
I
if
don't
he
care.
looked
I
up,
just
he's
had
like,
to get out of here.
Like, even if he just was like, I have to know.
Right,
Like,
right.
what happened to my first son?
No, I don't.
There's
I
not
don't
enough
give a shit.
room.
I
I
don't
just
give
think
a
that's-
give a fuck.
I think that's more interesting than anything having to do with any of Batman's rogues. in
Yeah, the
story.
problem is I don't have time for that. I have to have Joker destroy the city again.
Yeah, but he's not Joker,
has
though.
to.
So that he can become the
I have
Joker
to have-
and then destroy the city
I'd
again.
have not Joker have a plot that requires him to destroy the city and kill everyone in it, and Batman has to like save the day, and then he becomes the Joker.
And I gotta homage Batman '89.
Like, for the
Joker's gonna have like a big
1000th
parade throughout the
fucking
city,
time we have
filled
to
with
do
gas.
that.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, maybe I'm glad for this too. But like, if this Joker, Darwin Halliday, was like trying desperately to make this all work in a world without a Batman, even though he clearly killed
then
Bruce Wayne.
yeah.
That like he was like, so what I did was I killed Jason Todd. I looked him up and I
Yeah.
killed him.
Yeah.
I
I
killed
found
him.
Barbara
Because-
Gordon and I fucking
I killed him.
I
Took care of
paralyzed that.
Right, yeah. I did all the Joker
I made
things.
sure that Dick Grayson's family was dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know who Tim Drake is, so I don't care.
Right. And nobody cares about Tim, so whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I killed his mom
Yeah.
and I crippled his dad. Yeah, like because he also knows who Bruce Wayne is, and he knows like that Bruce Wayne needed to die. You know,
Yeah, he's like, I had to set certain things in motion.
that would have
to
been really
make
fun,
sure-
but then he wouldn't have killed Bruce Wayne. Like, they
Yeah, I
wouldn't
know. It doesn't really work.
have- It doesn't totally work.
I'm just telling my own story then. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
right.
Sorry,
Now you're
Chip.
just writing your own story. They've already started releasing the gas, but like the gas is connected to a thing that Batman could pull a convenient lever for, and it would stop. Because
Right,
the
the
gas
gas
is pumped
lever.
from Arkham Caves. So it's like if I pull this, it'll stop it. But I gotta stop Ghostmaker. But Ghostmaker could just kill me with his blades because I'm wearing garbage.
Somewhere with hockey pads.
That's right. And so he like plays to Ghostbreaker's vanity, and he's like, "No blades, let's fight." And then he just immediately hands him his ass. But then he tries to pull it, and the lever gets stuck, and Ghostmaker's like, "Ho ho, I'm going to take out my blades," and he cuts off Batman's hand because this is a comic book from DC Comics, which means you need to show that things are serious, so a person loses a limb. That's what happens in every fucking comic book. Where you need to show something really serious happens, a character loses their hand.
So he shoves a batarang in it.
Yeah, he wraps it up and then he shoves batarangs in it, and he's just got a batarang stump. Like he's got like 3 or 4 batarangs, just like, yeah.
You're kidding. Right?
No, I'm not kidding. It happens in this book.
What? What?
He's just like, I got to pull out all the stops.
I was making a Aquaman reference. When he-
Yes, for the harpoon hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's an homage.
But
Wait, but how, how does he get his hand back?
How indeed. It's actually more complicated than you could ever
does
imagine.
multiversal energy come into
No.
play? Oh, okay.
No. Clones.
He
Can I leave
clones a
now?
hand.
we're
We
not
haven't
doing
done
that story. We're not
Does
doing
he,
that
does
story.
he make a clone of himself just so he can get its hand and stick it on his hand?
Chip invents a reason for Failsafe to clone Batman and make a version of himself that ages up, and at the interim period where he doesn't age into, decrepancy, but before he has a small hand, he does cut off his own hand and then put it on ice so that Batman could have a real hand. And then he dies.
He clones a whole body.
Well, no.
give
Failsafe
Batman-
Failsafe
he does it
makes
for a
a
different
clone of
reason.
Bruce to teach Bruce a lesson, and then it gets away from him, and,
Well, no reason to let a perfectly good clone go to waste.
Well,
I'll
the clone is alive. The clone
that
elects.
hand.
The clone makes the decision himself. It's like,
to
you need a
cut
hand.
off the clone is like sentient and conscious and
no.
cuts off his hand for Batman?
Yeah, well, he's like, well, you need to be Batman, and I don't need this hand. I'm aging into death, and you're not going to be able to solve the problem, because they try to solve the problem of, like, making him not age into death, but they don't.
Wouldn't the hand continue to age into death if they couldn't solve the problem?
Absolutely, but it doesn't. Now, that was my first question when that happened. I guess, because I
It'd be
separated.
so funny. He like, I'll make this sacrifice. They cut
off.
off the hand, he puts it on, and it just like shrivels.
Thanks.
Oh, right.
You went through horrible, debilitating pain and then died.
See, I
It's
kinda
like watching
remember
as the hand,
that
like, shrivels, like,
conversation. I don't remember him attaching batarangs.
Batarangs to a stump. It gets
That's awesome.
neither is like, by the time when we got to clones, I was like, Chip, Bubala, what are you doing to me, man? So
He's
anyway.
like this close to just having a chainsaw in his hand.
I mean, why not? At that point, and I bet it's because, like, well, we already did a chainsaw. Wonder Woman had the invisible chainsaw,
I know.
so it's like,
I remember that.
yeah. Anyway, so Batman's like, all right, I'm gonna take the fight to Red Mask or whatever, not Joker. So he does, and and Alfred's heart grows 3 sizes that day. And like, because there's security forces there, and they're like, excuse me, old man, like, you can't just open the doors and let anyone come in here. He's like, oh, I believe I will. And so then he fights them, and then he just lets everyone, he's like, open the doors, let them in.
And gas pours in, he's like, oh no.
And then, like, somebody comes over and goes, thanks a lot, and just stabs him to death. I think I'll take your apartment.
Dark.
So anyway, Halliday's like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna make the jump. I'm gonna become the Joker. And then he he gets into, Joker's head. He goes to he's like, I gotta go back. I gotta go further back. So he ends up at, like, the moment of Joker's origin. Like when Joker's on the scaffolding, or
Right.
the character Darwin or Jack or whoever. Red Hood is on the scaffolding. He's not really Red Hood. He's wearing a Red Hood costume because it's Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then he falls into the acid, and when he comes out of the chemical plant, takes the hood helmet off, looks into the puddle from Killing Joke, and then the Joker looks back at him and he goes, who are you? Because Joker can see his own multiversal counterpart, because Joker's seemingly connected as well. And so Joker's like, hey, what's going on here? And that scares Darwin's like, ah! And he separates from it. And he's like, oh, I couldn't become him. I gotta go further back. Like, I need more energy. Even though I've used it all and it's cut off, but I'll just do it. And it's not like he, like, cuts open Barry Allen and drinks his blood or something. He just gets more.
Just cuts him open and puts on his skin.
He's like, there! Now I can go anywhere! And he just runs really
Just
fast.
slopping all over the place.
That would be-
Just a horror show.
I would almost have more respect for that.
No!
So anyway, Batman kicks the crap at everybody. Firefly's working for the good guys now.
The art
Burning
radically
all
changes.
Oh yeah, Mikel Yannon comes in because Hawthorne needs more time.
Oh, this looks... I like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Mikel
It's
Yannon drawing the book. It's awesome.
just completely different than it was 3 pages earlier, but okay.
Yeah, that's right. And then Batman, because they're paying Firefly, they're like, he's like, it feels great to be the good guys. And like, we had to pay you to switch sides.
With what money?
Yeah, right? What? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The book's almost over. So
I paid you in promises.
Yeah, that I will never keep. We're gonna kill you. But every time he goes back, the 3 times,
It's a different Joker.
he produces another Joker.
He produces another Joker?
So in
What?
Killing Joke, what you don't see when Joker wanders off from the embankment is there's 2 other identical Jokers going off.
What?
Red Mask is the multiversal Joker maker.
What?
Yeah.
Why
That's where
would
the 3 Jokers comes from.
Why would that make Jokers?
Because he can't be Joker. Like, he's a multiversal constant in as much as you can never be Joker.
And
Your role in the multiverse is to make Jokers. You can't ever be one. Irony of ironies. All you want is to be Joker, but all you can do is make them.
But what causes them to be made? What is it about him,
what
intruding and, like, looking at him?
Maybe it's the fact that he, like, manipulated this world to have no Batman, and so as a result, all he can do is, make Jokers in other realities, but never his own.
But through what mechanism are they made into Jokers? Like, what drives them mad?
No, nothing. He like copies them. Like, when he gets there,
like a printer.
Yeah, like when he goes into Earth Prime and tries to inhabit that Joker, all he does is run off Jokers every time he does it. So when
So it just duplicates the guy that was already there.
yes.
So then there's like 4 Jokers.
No, he does it
he
twice.
does it twice,
So there's 3
so there's
Jokers,
3.
and then the Jokers are like, want to try for a 4th? And they don't.
No,
So
wait. So he does it.
he does it twice. He does it
Yeah,
the first
he does
time,
it the first time. There's like, I have to go back, and then that
and he
makes
does it
another
again, and then there's 2 Jokers. So there's 3 Jokers walking away.
One of them's the original Joker,
That
and the
he-
other 2 are copies that he made
Our Darwin Halliday copies
through
of
his
the same
first
Joker.
and then second attempts to become the Joker himself.
That's right.
I don't like this.
So he generates like a physical extra body of the Joker just by
Made
like
out of what?
trying to go talk to him.
Multiversal energy? I say that a lot, so you know. Anyway.
So he takes multiversal energy from here,
the machine and from
he
his
goes and he
experiments.
like looks at Joker and then just like somehow it just like
he
goes
breathes
off
it in.
of him.
He like doppels himself into the Joker, or like sees through his eyes. or
Yeah.
when he connects to that Joker, he makes a Joker.
and somehow something has to go there.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
order
yeah.
to make a second
Right?
other body.
Yeah,
And
but
it-
How does this really solve the problem of like wanting to retcon the Jeff Johns thing? Because you're really just supporting the idea that there are 3 Jokers.
Yes. Oh no, but
But not
Jeff
those 3
Yeah, no.
Jokers.
Jeff Johns' 3 Jokers are 3 different men who became the Joker. These are the same Joker 3 times.
No, it's all bad.
Well, and
it's
also-
all not good.
Well, he's like,
it's
well,
not.
whose Joker
I don't
is
like
it? Like,
it.
I ruined the fact that like Jason Todd's Joker that killed him wasn't the same Killing Joke Joker, you know?
Right.
And it's like that's not fair. No. They're all the same Joker, and they all do the same
But
thing.
they can be in 3 different places.
That's right.
And have like remember different things
Because
past a
they
certain
did different
point, because
from the time when they
were-
became the Joker.
It's so unnecessary.
Well,
But they're all
idea
the
of
same
having-
guy, or they're like clones of
and,
the same
and that's
guy.
why you don't do that. Like, because, you know, Johns did the 3 Jokers. He said there's 3 Jokers, and then made the 3 Jokers. It took forever, and Jason Fabelak, like, just worked his ass off to make this book, and it's gorgeous looking, and it didn't work out. And that's just a shame.
That's
In
just too
comics,
bad.
sometimes it's just a
doesn't
shame.
work.
It's just
Yeah.
not gonna work out.
It's like, no, but we have to keep the 3 Jokers.
No, but you don't, though.
Like, but we said there were 3,
And,
so like,
and your DC,
how do
you
I
can
make the
retcon
3
that
Jokers
a lot.
work?
Like Marvel has to usually live in their own shit, but DC, you'll just wait for another crisis, and then you can make sure that we're never any Jokers. Like
Right.
you're good, but like you don't need
No,
to do
but
that.
how do we get the 3 Jokers working?
But we don't. Like
I did-
no one
I-
ever agreed that was a good idea.
we literally just told you. You say that it's like there's Joker, there's the Batman Who Laughs,
Right, and then there's
Yeah.
another third
and there's
Joker.
a third one that we don't know what that is.
Yeah, and we can leave that for someone who like maybe has an idea that isn't editorially driven.
So I have to kill you.
Right, because you keep making Jokers. So Batman's like, I need Halliday, because he has access to the multiverse. I can use him or the machine or something to get into the multiverse so I can go home. The whole point is leaving.
Does he know about the Joker making?
Halliday has just discovered,
Right, but does Batman find this out?
not yet,
Okay.
but he does immediately. So Halliday's like, damn it! I can never be free. I can only make Jokers. What a great cosmic joke on me.
You can still go jump in that acid.
Yeah,
See,
right.
that works.
It's always on the table. Like
The way that he actually
and it's like-
became the Joker.
It's almost like a joke where it's like you can't fake it. Like
right.
you can't just.
There's no shortcut.
There's no shortcut to
you
being
gotta go with the acid.
you gotta
my
do the
friend.
thing, man. Yeah.
There's no way to do it without
There's-
suffering.
If you need to lose weight, you need to eat less and exercise more. I'm sorry, there's nothing else to do. There's no magic pill.
There is.
There is. Yeah, but you have to inject it into your stomach 3 times a week.
yeah, it's
don't
still
know.
unpleasant. No matter what you do,
Yeah,
it's
you
unpleasant.
have to go through some kind of grueling, arduous ordeal. But also, there's a great moment where Batman's fighting Red Mask, and Red Mask using his like multiversal cheat code to like pop around, and then Batman like guesses where he's gonna be, and then he rams him like the Juggernaut and like stabs him with his little pointy ears.
Oh my god.
It's like meh, and he's like, "Ow!" It doesn't mean anything.
Right, it's
just
just a
funny that it
flesh
happened.
wound. Yeah.
Well, his multiversal energy should be leaking out of him then.
Yeah, but it's also like, wow, Batman is hardcore. He uses bike helmet to stab that guy. Anyway, so they build a. So in the meantime, Halliday also had like a multiversal door rebuilt that uses the energy, and so he's like, "Oh, now if Halliday is bumbling around the multiverse physically, every reality he goes to will make a Joker. So I got to stop him before he starts churning Jokers out throughout the multiverse." So so Alfred, of course, helps him out, and he's there, and Selina's there too, and he's like, "Hey, Alfred, I'm gonna go home first. I gotta get this garbage suit off of me.
You gotta get one of my good suits.
I gotta put on a cool Batman costume to end the story. Why don't you come with me, and then like you'll be Alfred in my reality?" And Alfred's like, "I'm married, and editorial said no." And so Batman's like, fair enough. And then Selina's like, and don't forget, I'm a bad guy too. And she kicks him through the doorway, and so he tumbles to the multiverse the same as Halliday.
So he doesn't get his outfit?
He does not get his outfit yet. So Batman tumbles to the multiverse, and he arrives in the Batman 89 universe.
Huh.
And what does he find? But there's a big TV somewhere that's broadcasting that the Joker is alive, and he is hardcore. Like, Joker's back.
Oh.
And he's even more twisted and evil than he was before.
But shouldn't he be a totally different Joker?
Nope, it's the same Joker. He copied that Joker, and now he's alive.
But then how
But
come
that
the
Joker was
copies...
dead.
No, and now he's alive.
But how come the other copies aren't the same?
Because it's a different thing. I was accessing that Joker and accidentally copying them, but now I'm physically in that reality. When I arrive, I copy
So I
a
copy
Joker,
whatever
and it's
Joker
the Joker
is
from that
there
reality.
into another
I'm
Joker.
sorry, listen, I like Chip Zdarsky.
I love Chip
I like
Zdarsky.
his written work.
So
I think he's
much I
a
love
really
from him.
funny person. I think he's fairly brilliant.
Yeah.
I really don't like this.
No.
Like, this is just, this
like this-
story is not for me at all.
No.
Like, I don't know why, but the idea of, like, the character existing just to copy Jokers,
Yeah.
I can't.
Well,
I can't.
Here's the thing.
And maybe that's it.
That's fair.
Maybe
Is there
Chip is like
something-
freaking laughing at us himself. Like, he's like, that's funny. No, it's dumb. It's funny.
I think it's great
Maybe it's
because-
like that's the
because
biggest
it's
joke
like,
of
this is-
all. It's
this
like he
is
just wants to be
essentially-
the Joker, but
right.
all he can do is make other
That's
people
right,
into
Right,
the
or he,
Joker.
or he like specifically is putting Punchline and Ghostmaker in this book because he's like, see these characters that everybody keeps making? I'm gonna make a stupid character too.
Yeah, I made
This
it-
is what it's
The
like.
Joker who makes
Just
Jokers.
but like, you're playing with fire when you're creating
There's a
a
reason why.
Joker.
Well, there's a reason why
making machine.
Ghostmaker is in this book, and there's a Joker maker. Like, he's making fun of.
the
I
Joker
know,
maker.
but like,
Oh
yeah,
my god.
But like, Joker is like a fundamental force.
Yes, and
So
that's
it's-
what he's saying. Is like,
Yeah, but he's not.
But here's the thing: is that
No, I know, but I'm saying, like-
wait, the realities he goes to are all realities where Jokers were dead. So he's resurrecting or remaking those Jokers. So he's reestablishing the Jokers in those realities. Like, he goes to the Red Rain universe
Oh, thank
and
God.
resurrects the vampire Joker.
Does he know that he's
No.
going only to
No,
universes
he's just
where
running
Joker-
through. No, he's just.
So it's
running
just a
through
coincidence?
It's a coincidence, but it's also like convenient for us because now we can do new Batman vampire stories.
Oh, thank
and the
God.
Joker can be in them. Like, if we ever want to do a story where like Jack Nicholson Joker is back and doing more cool stuff in the Batman 89 universe, we can, but we can't because actually they weren't allowed to use Batman 89 in this story of more than one panel.
So he's not really like Joker maker. Is Joker resurrection?
Well, he doesn't resurrect them. He makes a copy of the Joker who existed.
But then shouldn't
But
they
he
be
only
dead?
ever does
But
it
that would be
in
boring. That would be
universes.
stupid. Then there'd just be a Joker corpse.
So he copies Jokers, and also the Jokers he copies are alive,
Yes.
whether the one that he copied was alive or dead.
Exactly.
But then at what period? Like
Now.
But like but now they're dead.
No, but like now, yes, but
But-
as we established, they're not
But I'm
now.
just saying. Like,
But do they come back with
in-
all the memories they had at the moment they
But
died?
like in the
yes.
Red Rain universe, like he wasn't always a vampire.
No, but
but he was when he died.
When he was interesting and Joker, he was.
Oh. Now it has to do with interesting.
I mean, it's a comic book. The point is, it's about what's interesting and story driven. Like, it is meta in its own way, where it's like, yeah, I only
Yeah.
bring back the Joker that you care about or want to see.
But like, is this character going to die at the end?
Who?
Joker maker.
Joker.
I'm
We're just
sorry.
calling him that
Yeah.
now.
Joker Maker, Red Mask.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, no, he
later.
doesn't die. No,
Um,
I mean, look, like that is the problem. But it's like it's not fair that I have to future-proof other people's inability to self-censure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not responsible for what other people's
I guess what I-
hackery is all about.
I guess I'm saying I'm just asking the philosophical or like the Jurassic Parkian question of like,
Just because you could do something.
does it mean you should?
Yeah, I know. I've been warning that forever about all kinds of things. Like
Yeah.
aging up characters. Yeah.
But Chip's like, yeah, but everyone else has been doing it, and now
But like
I
the
am.
Now it's
problem
my
is that
turn.
like there's so many Joker stories and you've just provided a floodgate.
Yeah. To have like an army of Jokers. I mean, if I want to.
Yeah, but I could have done that anyway, because there
Anyone
still
could've.
was an army of Jokers. These are only the ones that were already dead. The ones that never died were always there to play with.
Yeah.
And could have always become an army.
Yeah, there
So
could
anyone
always
could
be a
have done that.
multiversal Joker army. I could always just say that, like, if I wanted to collect one, they go back in time and also the multiverse and grab it before they
I
die.
already collected a whole bunch of Batmen from all over the. I mean, Chip didn't, but
No,
someone
other
did.
people have.
Yeah.
Also, Jorge Jimenez adapts his style to every universe he goes to. Which
Yeah,
I think
it's
is really
actually
cool.
it's actually really brilliant. I will
Yeah.
say it is really hilarious to see Batman in his garbage costume talking to Batman 89, Batman who can't turn his head.
Yeah.
But the Red Rain universe art, I honestly super appreciate the fact that they colored it the way it should
Yeah,
be
it's
colored.
flat colors. Yeah.
That is where I mean, yes, the adaptation of art is insane, but that touch, that
The
detail,
approximation of color.
really well done.
I agree. But unfortunately, you're getting these some of those Batmen from this reality are also teaming up with our Batman, Prime Batman, who's wearing a suit made of garbage. So, it's kind of a shame that the only time ever that Batman Prime will team up with Michael Keaton's Batman is when he's wearing a garbage suit. And even then, he only bumps into him and be like, wait, Joker's dead here? He's talking to Michael Keaton, and he's like, hey, Joker was dead. And he's like, oh, he was dead? What happened? And then he's, whoop, I gotta go. I'm being sucked through. I'm following Red Mask. I'm tethered to him in some way.
So all I can do is just see what happened and then move on to the next
Or
one.
just interact with my Batman a little bit, or have a fun fight scene if we feel like it.
Oh.
With Michael Keaton,
I wasn't allowed.
Warner Brothers said no. With Red Rain, Batman's already dead.
Yeah.
And there's no Batmaker, so I have to fight the Joker vampire in this reality.
Yeah, so actually this reality is doomed.
This reality is doomed because there's a Joker vampire, yeah. But then he goes to Gotham by Gaslight. And so, because there never was a Joker in Gotham by Gaslight, now there is a Gotham by Gaslight version of Joker.
Now I don't understand at all.
Well, no, it's just I'm...
So what is he copying? There's nothing to copy.
No, so he generated one. I conjured one that exists for this
But
reality.
you said he was copying.
He was
Okay, so he's
originally.
not.
Now he's generated.
He's generated
Well, no,
them.
but he is.
But he generates. Okay, but what does he generate here? Because the other ones
Yeah,
were versions
Yes.
of the ones that were there, but
Right.
there wasn't one here.
No, that's true.
So what? He generates an appropriate Joker for the place
Yeah.
that he is.
Yes. Yes. He retcons.
That's too
that
metatextual.
there is a Joker. I know. It's asking a lot.
It's asking a real lot.
Then you get Batman the Animated Series teaming up with Garbage Batman, fighting Mark Hamill's Joker. And don't forget also the Jokers that the Red Mask makes are also more extreme.
So wait, now there's two of those Jokers there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So he's not just resurrecting Jokers that died or creating Jokers where previously there were no Jokers before.
Right.
He's also duplicating Jokers
I would
in some of these
okay,
places.
we don't get into it. I
Not
assume
good.
he has to duplicate them because he did the same thing when he was in the Prime universe.
Right.
Or at least he was.
So if this Joker wasn't dead, which he wasn't as far as we knew.
Yeah. No. This Mark Hamill Joker doesn't die until later, unless we're retconning that Batman / Red Mask go to this reality that is flashed back to in Batman Beyond Return of the Joker.
Maybe.
So sure, we'll do that. Because also he goes to the Arkham Asylum video game universe. And Arkham Asylum Batman is like, Joker died. I would have saved it. There's the whole conversation. And then he's like, and he's back. It's undone all the sacrifices we made.
Yeah, all right, Chip Zdarsky, you just undid hours
Okay.
of gameplay.
Yeah. And my world is destroyed, and Joker's still running around. And
man.
then he ends up bamfing through a multiversal portal that was built by old Bruce Wayne from the Batman Beyond cartoon show, because he has one, and he detected Batman. So he's like, hey, let's take a second. We can use this reality.
Wait. Wouldn't this Batman be the same Batman from the Batman animated series?
Well,
Is that why he builds the portal? 'Cause
maybe.
he's like,
Yeah,
I saw
knew
you.
I ran into you, yeah.
Because you gave me two Jokers to deal
Let's
with.
say that's the
Or one.
Let's say
Sure.
that's the case. Why not? I mean, why not? Because you could also say Batman 89, the Batman animated series, the first two seasons, really are incongruous to the new Batman Adventures / Batman Beyond.
Right.
It fits, but you have to force it.
Right.
With this, it's maybe there's two realities. One where it's kind of similar to the old Batman cartoon.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
also it could be these no, I'm old, and I was there, and I remember it,
there-
I built this thing.
Is there any way that the longer this is ongoing, that the energy that he uses
Is dissipating?
yeah, and the Jokers are disappearing?
No. Old Batman gives real Batman a disc that he can use to go back to his home reality. Return of the Joker arrives, and he's going to attack them. And so you're like, okay, that's fine. And then he bamps away, and we see like all these direct references. Like, Joker's alive in the Kingdom Come universe now. Oh no! And also in the Injustice universe, which completely undermines everything that happened in Injustice. And and like, and then he bumps into Adam West Batman, and the Joker's even more scary and hardcore than he was when he was Cesar Romero. So he teams up with Adam West Batman, and Adam West Batman's like, well, if you're Batman, you're gonna need a utility belt. So he gives him his Adam West Batman utility belt.
Well, any of them could have.
Yeah, but this one did.
Right, but that's like the most useless utility belt in Batman's arsenal.
Or the most useful.
Yeah, because it's full of convenience.
Because it's just got hard counters in it.
So then Batman...
2 things that happen in that universe, which are not terribly dangerous or involved a big silly bomb.
Maybe it morphs when he switches universes. The belt like morphs with him.
Sure.
To be as useful in the new universe as it was in the universe.
I'm sure there's shark repellent and
No, it's just Batman 66.
It's just silly stuff. So he's like, okay, here we go. Oh, come on. It's very highly specific.
Yeah, they're highly specific, but it's also endless. So anyway, he goes to Dark Knight Returns. And,
of course he does.
Well, that really is not okay. Him dying is a huge thing. Really important.
Yes, it's a real shame.
And now it's like it never
that
happened.
He's back. But now, Dark Knight for the Golden Child makes sense because the Joker's seemingly alive for no good reason. In that book. He teams up with Darkseid.
Okay. One thing he puts in makes sense in something else that happened.
Yeah. But wait, we don't deal with that because that would be sacrilege. So right now, all he does is Batman arrives and he runs into Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns Batman, and Dark Knight Returns Batman like beats him up, and then goes, "Oh, you're Batman and you're the real Batman, okay?" And then he brings him to the cave and he builds him a robot hand.
What?
And gives him one of his suits. He's like, "Here, you can take one of my smaller Batman costumes."
Oh, but he doesn't keep the robot hand because he gets a clone hand.
Later, yes. But for the remainder of the run, up until the clone story, he has a robot hand.
Yo, that's like the absolute Batman logo.
Well, yeah, it is a reference to it, basically.
No, that shape.
That one is. Yeah, that's the absolute Batman logo.
That is.
Yeah, that's straight up just it. That's interesting. Batman explains to old Batman, multiverse shenanigans. Frank Miller Batman's like, I hate the multiverse. That's so dumb.
Horrible.
I hate it. Anyway, listen, here you go. I'll get you a uniform, fix your hand. And he goes, hey, listen, Joker existed here. Did you kill him? And Frank Miller Batman's like, and I wish they just left it. Like, it would be a great moment, because, it's a source of shame for him that he is driven to the point where he cracks Joker's neck and then can't do it.
Yeah.
And then Joker kills himself.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's awesome. And it's such a great moment. And you don't, but it's a source of shame for Batman in that story. And you don't need him to explain it, but he does. He says, did you kill him? He goes, no, I had his neck in my hands and I didn't finish the job. He did it for me and he laughed the whole time. And while that is grim and cool, it'd be better if he just says, get to work.
Right. We know.
We know. We don't need Prime Batman to know what Dark Knight Returns Batman did. They end up at like the multiversal end of like a Gotham that's floating in like space. And because there are no Jokers here, or there never was, or whatever, like there's like space multiversal sharks that Red Mask has turned into Joker sharks, and so they're floating around in space.
I'm sorry, there's no Joker here, so then he should just make one.
We don't really get into it.
Because he did that and you established that.
Yeah, I know. But look, maybe he made this Joker shark.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Joker shark is the Joker of this.
Yeah, of this floating into the universe reality. So it's eating Gotham. Of course, it's like a beautiful, brilliant metaphor. Like Joker is consuming all of Gotham.
Yeah.
But we see Batman in his awesome outfit. Like he's wearing Dark Knight Returns Batman suit, wielding Batman 66 utility belt. It's like, all right, that's a fun suit, I guess. And so they're fighting, and he's like, you have enough energy left, we can go home and I'll get you help. And he's like, no!
Do you think that that Chip had to resist the urge for Batman to collect a piece of his outfit from each universe he went to?
I thought he was going to do that. He more or less does. He hits the heights. Like he's clearly wielding Batman 89's Batarang, even though he doesn't get it.
Right. But off panel he grabbed it.
Like it'd be cool if he had like Terry's rocket boots or something. But this is enough.
Yeah.
But I also would like it. But I think
as he had like the Batman animated series grappling or the grapple one.
Grapple gun. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
He has the car. That's what he gets from there.
Exactly. So Batman fights a giant evil Joker shark,
Sure,
and
why not?
it's going to eat
That
him.
can swim in space.
Yeah, it can swim in space, and so it's trying to eat him. And then Batman reaches into his utility belt, pulls out the shark repellent, and he goes, "I finally met a Batman that's more prepared than I am." And that makes the shark,
Leave.
Die of the ick, essentially.
Oh! Anyway, Batman chastises Darwin. He's like, you have the brilliance of the Joker, but the sanity of a regular person. Like, you could have been anything, and you want to be the Joker. You pathetic loser. And he's like, without the madness, you're just some loser. Like, you're just a pathetic, evil person. And so Batman just backhands him and takes him down.
So that onomatopoeia, though, what are we referencing? What universe?
I mean,
Brack.
Is it supposed to be, because he's wearing the Dark Knight Returns, it should be Dark Knight Returns themed, I guess.
Yeah, but
Well,
there's
he's
no
in a
distinct
different
onomatopoeias.
universe.
I know.
He's in the
Like the end.
the Endiverse.
So it's like everything, I guess. It's got
Endiverse.
because it's got the the halftones.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like I don't know what it is. It's a mishmash
they're
of.
just having fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's all have
Batman's
He's in the universe that's indefinable
Right.
and.
It doesn't matter. He's on a floating asteroid in the middle of nowhere at the end of time. So he's like, okay, I'm not taking this asshole back to my reality, so I'll use the disc that Batman Beyond Batman gave me, put it on him, send him back to his reality. Hopefully they'll clean up the pieces or whatever. So he's gone, and then I'll just wait. And then Robin shows up, and he's like,
What is this? You just sent him back. There's literally nothing stopping him from doing this again.
well, no, the heroes took over. And,
I left it in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, Catwoman's nebulously moral, and there's also a Jewel character, and
Who's pretty scrappy.
Alfred.
He's like, I assume they're just gonna kill him.
I mean, they should.
I mean, they would.
They won't.
100% would.
They won't because people want to use him someday.
But they also have there,
Right.
the most dangerous character ever. Not him, but that horrible Flash.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a problem.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to deal with
Just
that.
let him starve to death.
Superman's all messed up.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be. They're gonna.
It's a mess.
They're gonna have some problems.
There's gonna be, but
they'll figure it out
They have
with
a
this guy.
fighting chance, unlike before. So
I can just imagine Lex Luthor in that universe being like
he is in that universe.
multiverse energy, eh?
No, he is in that universe. He's in the Arkham Asylum.
Oh, he is.
They just throw him at them. He's like, oh, I'm Lex Luthor. Like that's it.
Oh. Well, I feel like he's gonna escape and
That'd be great. Yeah, do anything.
and do stuff with multiversal energy, and it'll be Batman's
I
fault.
don't want to go back there ever again.
Me either. So the other undercurrent of this whole thing was the Batman of Zur-Anar from the previous arc was kind of coming out and being a problem. And so if you thought that we were going to end this story with all these multiversal Jokers being conjured, but not also establishing that every single Batman that Batman encounters gets their own Zur-Anar.
What?
So we established that there is an entire legion of multiversal Batmen of Zur-Anar.
What? Is that?
Because Batman Prime interacted with them, some part of him imprinted onto them
So
or copied.
he creates Batman Zur-Anars, just like
Joker
created
makes
Jokers.
Yes.
But Joker made physical Jokers.
No, these are mental constructs within the minds of their respective Batman, who also communicate seemingly together because they're all standing next to each other.
They just wanted to draw them. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah.
There's nothing. That's just
there's
so
no-
you can draw. That's the only reason to do that.
And it's
It looks cool.
It looks cool.
I'm sorry. They look fufucking awesome.
Yeah, I like Batman 89 Zur-Anar. I'm like,
Okay, first of all, I'm just mad.
I know.
Actually, I don't think I've been this angry at something that you've shared with us in a very long time. Like I am furious. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be filled with rage at the end of it. Second of all, he's dead.
yeah.
He didn't interact with him at all.
No, he didn't. And he didn't resurrect, but he's also here now.
No, I didn't have to.
I didn't have to.
the Joker didn't have to interact with the Jokers of his universe to spawn them.
No.
He just passed through when there was a Joker there.
Right? And maybe some part of the multiversal energy that Red Mask had on him, so it made a Batman of Zur-Anar. I don't know. It doesn't come up. When we see them, because Batman has to fight them on the Mindscape. But, it doesn't matter. All that matters is it got that cool picture. And then there's a backup about how Batman of Zur-Anar made failsafe, and who cares. So, you can buy this in the comments down below. But the Batman of Gotham is so much more. You think, oh, okay, Batman getting back to his roots, doing his thing. Oh, there's also a cute story where
So we're all just punished. Like if you want, if you wanted to see Batman on his own doing his thing,
With
you're a
Alfred.
bad person.
Yeah, well,
and
just-
you are going to be made to
well,
suffer.
no, you're not a bad person. You're just ignorant.
I have this crazy friend
Who thinks that Batman should be more like accessible?
who thinks that when you establish a story where it seems like Batman's gonna be like more grounded and like
and then
fundamental,
maybe at the end of it realize that like this is not where he needs to be, and like
Yeah,
he-
get back to his roots.
he says it's wrong to do that. Is he crazy?
Your friend's not crazy, Ethan. Just ignorant. You see, it's all part of comic books. Let's ask this scientist. He'd tell you that it's all part of continuity.
Oh. Yeah, and like meta commentary.
Yeah.
And cool drawings.
That's right.
Above all
now,
else.
do a lot of people like this?
I don't know.
It's pretty new, right?
It is relatively new, but not so new that people don't have opinions.
Right.
That said, I have not heard any distinct feelings one way or the other. I heard people finding it silly. I think people were more mad that Batman fell from the moon and didn't die than they are about this.
That's
I
madness.
I think it's because they kind of checked out. I think
That's-
comic books have really. I think comic books overall have really worn down the goodwill / like suspension of disbelief from readers to the point where like there are more like, you know, when you're covered in armor, you know what I mean? You're shielded from the elements. Only like the slow knife will cut the deepest, you know? And it has to get through the armor. So like, you know, when something stupid happens to Batman, like something really specific and stupid happens to Batman, everyone gets upset. But like when you have Batman fall through the multiverse, chasing a proto-Joker, whose power is that he makes other Jokers in realities that he visits, you just kind of go, all right.
I didn't.
None of
I
it
know,
matters.
But like that's because you haven't been worn down
Yeah.
enough.
You haven't
But,
been on the couch
you haven't-
enough.
You haven't calcified enough to have only small entry points to cut you yet. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's why people weren't up in arms. They were like, what? Like, I think
I think
the
it's
most
it's just
damning
the latest
it's
thing
in the-
like this.
Yeah, well, and it's like that ever since Grant Morrison took hold of Batman, it has been this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, and at what point do you say, oh, the dark multiverse is less silly than this? Or at what point do you say, this Batman of Zur-Anar is a bad idea? Like, there's so many places where it's like, you are a hypocrite for criticizing anything. We're now completely shielded from criticism entirely. Everything can be told. Like that's
Right,
where we are.
Because if you pick any one of these things to complain about, it's like, well, but what about this?
There's always a counter.
But what about this?
Yeah.
They already ruined it.
Right. It has been.
Where have you been?
Yeah. It has been worn down to the bedrock.
I think.
I hear what you're saying. Like, look,
This-
Yeah.
because I live and
No.
breathe, I'm
This
aware of
story
what is silly.
Is not for me.
No.
No. But it has to be because it happened to the
Nope.
real Batman.
Doesn't
So
matter.
no
Well,
matter
that's-
what you
and
read,
that's the
it will
thing.
always have
and,
happened.
And that's the thing, and that is my superpower.
Right, is that you don't. You
I-
have
You're like, I'm not
headcanon.
actually a Batman.
Well, no, it's not headcanon. I have the superpower of I'll stop fucking reading the book.
Oh,
I'll
not counting
stop
on that.
buying it. I'll stop talking about it. I will check out of it
Yeah.
completely.
Oh, yeah. That.
Yeah, but you don't buy Batman anyway.
right, exactly.
But I do sometimes.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, but,
right.
but only, well, you just pretend this one didn't happen.
Exactly. And the fact is,
Because everyone else will.
yeah, no one.
You think any of this is coming up? I mean, it might.
It might one day, but if it does, I can promise you.
But then you can just ignore that one.
It'll be less intricate. Like when Red Mask shows back up again, you know, making Jokers or something.
Yeah.
Like he won't make Jokers.
No, it'll be it
No.
won't be like he shows up. It'll be someone like Amanda Waller or the Batman Who Laughs or someone like that who gets him and then uses him to make
Yes.
Jokers.
Yes.
Can you-
oh, yeah. They'll
I
put
mean,
them in a machine.
I've already-
The machine will, like, produce 1,000
The
Jokers.
image already exists of the Batman Who Laughs returning because he hasn't been back yet, and revealing that in his Batcave, like he has strung up Red Mask with multiversal chains, and he's been draining him.
Yep.
You know, of blood, which has now turned to multiversal plasma, and he's been using it to like birth not realities, but like characters that are within continuity. Like, yeah, like I mean, it's already there. It's waiting for us in the future.
He will have like it has to be a multiple step process, right? Where he needs like an evil Flash or something like that. Who takes
it's gotta
him,
be fucking
who he's got like
complicated.
trapped in a tube to these places, and then he grabs the Joker that he makes and he brings it here. And
Is that building to some fucking thing?
No.
Where it's like too many people tapped the multiverse energy, and now we have a multiverse crisis.
We already had
Which
a
I guess
crisis
is just a
before
crisis.
that. Well, here's the thing: we had a Dark Crisis, and we're getting another massive story, also featuring Darkseid, that will birth the Absolute Universe. But it will have nothing to do with this, or multiversal energy, or rather, the multiversal energy that Red Mask is tapping.
Right.
Like, I promise you, nothing here will come.
You know. Okay, so like the whole multiverse thing, just in general. Okay,
Right.
I don't necessarily want to really get into this.
No.
but I'm still
let's get into it.
I'm just gonna say it out loud, right? Like, so you have the multiverse thing, right? In DC, it's a huge part of it. You know, like they're like here
I
it
didn't
is.
stop you right there only because it's not a huge thing. Like, it is a niche thing.
Excuse me. For like portion of the readership, it's a big deal, right?
It should be, but rarely is.
And lately has become more of a big thing thanks to other
Thanks Spider-Man.
Thanks Spider-Man for making it a larger thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and also like science.
Now that said,
Yeah.
Like 1,000 articles about the multiverse.
right. But
Yeah.
like when you have the existence of the multiverse, it really diminishes the idea of focusing on one in particular, like the absolute, right?
Yeah.
Or like the
Right.
all-in
Yeah, like why
universe.
should I give a shit about the absolute universe? It's just one of
Right,
millions.
why do I
Yeah.
give a
I
crap
just saw
about
10
the
Batman.
Ultimate Universe? There's like 12 billion other universes we could be
Yes.
looking at.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it just makes
Like
it
anything
less...
could happen anywhere and already has happened. We just haven't read about it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
It
does
I know exactly
diminish
what you're
that.
saying.
Yeah.
It is frustrating.
Right, and I know for some people I understand the argument, and I'm not saying the argument is incorrect because some people just like it because they're like, oh,
I just like
I
to
just
see
like to
Batman
see
in
all
different
different shit.
costumes.
Yeah.
Sure. But then there's other people who are like with Spider-Man where it's just like, I like to see a spider person who I can see myself as, like the representation. Totally get that.
I get that,
I
too.
totally understand that. But like, I don't know, for me, so this is just my own personal thing, like growing up, it wasn't like I thought I couldn't be Batman.
No.
I just was like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Right.
I like
I was just
Batman.
enjoying his stories.
Yeah, like I just liked his stories. I didn't worry about thinking about if I could be that character.
Yeah.
Because the fact was, no matter what they looked like, what gender they were, what belief system they had, I was never going to be as cool as Batman.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, well, that's
And like,
why I invented Robin.
I would just be honored to be near him.
You could be a Robin.
Yeah, that's why they
You could
invented
be
Robin.
Gordon.
I
You could
couldn't
sit in
even
a chair
no,
and do computers.
I couldn't do any of those things. I like all these characters. Was like I can't be them. That's why I
Yeah.
like reading about them.
Yes.
I just want
That's
to.
how I
I just want
felt
to
too.
be
I was
near
never
them.
like, oh, I'm gonna be that, or I
No.
want to be that character.
Yeah.
I never ever thought that.
The only time I ever did was Spider-Man.
But even that, I'm like, I
And
couldn't
even then,
do
it wasn't that I could be him. It was more like I wanted to be him.
I have a fear of heights, and like I would never like. I'm just like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like it seems like you're too rational. Like,
Oh, I'm
it seems like
sorry.
a good idea, and then it's like, oh, but like then people trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
it'd be really hard and painful. I don't want to go through
There
that. I
is-
couldn't do that.
No.
I have to deal with bugs. Oh.
The perfect
Oh,
encapsulation.
no. Oh no.
The perfect encapsulation of like the disconnect between the audience and the publisher is in a joke what if comic book where they were just churning out just newspaper style funnies in one issue, just like little one-offs,
Yeah.
or like a couple page stories. Like there's one story where Galactus is punished to become a man, and so they send him to Earth, and he's in the body of Elvis Presley. And so Elvis has returned, but it's Galactus. And that's because Elvis ate food, you see. And there's this whole story about like Elvis has returned, but it's actually the spirit of Galactus. And but like that, and that's a joke that they did for like way too many pages. But then there's this one joke, and it's what if, you were Spider-Man, and the image is Spider-Man with Mary Jane over his shoulder swinging across the city, and it says, paste your photo over Spider-Man. Like, your face over Spider-Man's face. Now you can imagine yourself. And then the next panel is a grave surrounded by all of Spider-Man's villains. And it says, you'd be dead, you're no superhero. And on the grave says, write your name here.
Oh my
God.
And it's like, I appreciate that you want to doppel yourself into it. But you need to understand that you never will be these characters, and in fact, you own them in no way.
But that's and I get, because it's just a different enjoyment of it, and I think that's why I struggle sometimes with understanding why we have to constantly
refresh.
I believe in representation 100%. Absolutely. I think it should be there, but like when we're just inventing characters to invent them, I'm like, but why? Having nothing to do with representation. I'm talking about like Ghostmaker and all that. And I was like,
this is vanity.
I'm like, but like all
that's what this is.
Right.
This is creator.
I'm like, I just want to be. I just want to read stories about people I don't know.
Yeah. Doing things I couldn't do.
Right? Like, you know, from like...
Yeah, and that's what's happening here.
Like,
oh, you can't do this!
I guess that's true. All right.
No, but like, and this is really the culmination of it. I don't believe that Chip Zdarsky like went insane. And
he tapped into the multiverse and he saw Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah, he became the Zdarsky maker. And,
sometimes when you stare into the abyss...
The abyss looks bad.
Yeah. And that's what modern comics are.
The
and he's
Chip
just like,
Zdarsky
me too.
Yeah. But like, it's not that like Chip went nuts and like he's to blame.
No.
It's that this is the culmination of recklessness, like an unmitigated.
This is just like, this is what we're doing, I guess.
Yeah, this is what we're doing? Okay, cool. Well then, I'm not going to be left out in the cold.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my mark, and it's going to be the biggest mark I've ever seen.
I'll do my version of it.
And it's like, but like, why? And it's because, on one hand, it's like, I can't not do it because I need to stand out, and it's my turn, and this is what the audience is expecting.
Right. This is what Batman is.
Yes.
This is what DC Comics are.
Right.
Yes. Batman goes home, and
there is more?
Oh, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. All the Robins, they, like, break into Wayne Manor, and they make breakfast, and then Batman's there, and, like, he's like, yay! And then he, like, sees a vision of all of them burning to death, and he's like, oh, I'm not done being sad. And then he goes to Selena, and he's like, I met a Selena that was another reality, and she was mean to me, and she's like, fuck you, and she leaves, and he's like, oh!
We don't have time for this.
Enough! I'm so sick of Batman being miserable. There's a difference between stoic and miserable. That's the Batman of Gotham. Check it out. It is ridiculous, and it reads better. You know, when you're reading it, you're like, okay, you take a lot of things like for granted, and it's broken up by the Robin story.
I'm sure it's well written and flows.
It does.
From page to page quite well.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not a Mike Hawthorne fan, but you know, it tells the story. You know, it's not like it's distracting. Mm-hmm. It's just not my cup of tea. But I think it is fine for what it is.
Right.
So check it out if you want, and we'll see you guys next time with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Tiffany.
Keep reading.
Is there anything that happens at the end that's important? He said he saw the vision of them like burning.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, something bad might happen next.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and like, you know, he's keeping secrets from the Bat family, and you know, and Zur-En-Arrh is like puppeting Bruce while he's like not even unconscious. It's like Bruce will be like doing something on the computer, and then like Zur-En-Arrh will take over and like go do stuff, and then come back, and Batman will like not notice time has changed.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
It's like Venom.
Yeah, it is like Venom, which I was like, oh, that's what they'll do. They didn't, but you know, whatever.